We went back short in the TQs, but our stop is 108. So if it comes out, it comes out. Nothing we can do about it.
Oh, we get a super chat. But right before we go, 11 o'clock, just say Control Alt Escape.
Let's do it.
Says we love SoFi.
There we go.
Go SoFi. Hold it forever.
SoFi, that's too bad. That's a frustrating one for me because it's all the way up right now, and we had the long and we dumped it. So there goes SoFi.
But is it golden?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going up. Soda pop.
I don't know the rest of the words. That's the only.
It's not that song, Sharif, but it is close to that. No, man. It's K-pop Demon Hunters, guys.
Yeah, you guys don't know. They don't.
Guys, just focus.
They don't have
there,
kids.
okay? Like,
if you don't have kids, you don't know. It's not.
If it was on the label of a creatine bottle, Joe would be all over that thing. But right there. So
not untrue.
All right, shut it. No, he talked about creatine yesterday. He said he's never giving it up. I don't want to offend these guys because sometimes Sharif, it's like I don't want to be. Okay, good. Yeah, we're just playing around. Okay, here we go, guys. I think sometimes maybe he is, but okay, here we go. Here's a nice move down on the TQs, man. We are right back to our day high on this on our account right now with this trade in the TQQs. It came right up, man. We put on way too many units. It's a nice move to the downside now, but I'm going to start to cover and throw it over to the guys, the most handsome team here. Well, if I joined them. Okay.
Also the team ducking that push-up challenge.
Oh, yeah, there were some comments. There was some comments on that in the chat.
Yeah, there were some comments
people
about
are upset.
y'all ducking that. You guys said you would do that challenge like months and months ago. Right?
People are upset, Neil.
I'm upset.
And now we have to answer to it.
We
have to sit here and answer to this.
In all seriousness, we get a lot of questions about why aren't the guys doing it. It's genuine. People want to see that push-up challenge. I've already put my money on Sharif for what it's worth. So with that, let's throw it to Joe and Sharif, the push-up challenge, and the midday.
Now they're using excuses. They need an undercard. See what I'm saying? This is the problem. Listen, Wilson Katina Capital, right now, the merger is on hold right now.
There will be no undercard.
All right, let's go back over to these guys. Thank you, guys. See you.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That is your boy, Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And yes, we had somebody vote no for my earnings weekly note yesterday, just specifically because we didn't do the push-up challenge.
Yeah, that was our guy.
So the people, the Katina man is absolutely accurate.
That was our guy, Sports and Stonks,
I know.
man.
All right, guys, chase the packs. Ronaldo, Hangry Wife, Shadow, S7. We got Jacques and Oxlong, Busy, Trader, Super, no, yes, Big 40, Nephew. Shout out to Mr. Susie himself and Kevin M. Amanda K. Stang joining us, as well as Brown Lighting and Professor Love. How about RB, running back, Ebb and Flow, Portfolio, Chase, the Packs, Buffalo Soldier, excuse me. We got Jeffrey Cardoza and Green Day Dean. Love that. Fresh Trades, we got Victory Mindset. Love the name, man. Mary, Fox Gaming, Dark Room. We got Safe. We got 420. Bud Monster. Adrenaline Angle. Chicago 1807 and Jody Mills. We got TE Tester and Jelly Bean Giant. Oh, I like that. Ket, Copy, Paste, and Papacito joining us, as well as Jason Coingy. We got Mike P. D. Ryder. I don't know why I'm so hyper, bro. I just had one sip of coffee. Rhino Day, Medical Marinara, and one more. Ichiro, the OG. Yeah, bro, let me tell you, man. I'd stay up late yesterday. I thought I'd be tired, but let me tell you, I'm living off the adrenaline.
You're still living off of it, man. I heard.
Usually I'm in sleep.
I told you guys, man. I fell asleep at the top of the 6th, and then I woke up to the city just and I'm like, let's go. Let's go, Just Living. Yeah, good to see you in the chat. All right, guys, enough of that. Go Blue Jays, go. Obviously, extremely important. But we also want to talk about what we were trading on today's session. Now, to start it off, surprisingly, we were short Bitcoin. And then we take this move, comes right back to the break even, following the rules. We get out, and we're patient, and then we get a 5-minute signal to short it again. So we decided to go short once more, and then we take the majority up, and we get a stop out break even. And since then, guys, I have not shorted Bitcoin.
Oh.
Why? Because it broke through some key levels, and it's extremely strong today. So we don't want to be going against the flow. We caught our pullbacks, and then sure enough, look at it continue to climb. I also bought a little bit more as well, too. Sharif can finally hear. That's big. We're going to go off to Adara, and then we're going to go through my other trades that we put on today.
Yeah, OpenAI here set to have an event, apparently to debut its agentic AI browser. As this is announced, we do get a push lower here in GOGL. Again, Google breaking down here as OpenAI announces a live stream to debut its agentic AI browser. Because anybody missed this here, we're down like $5 from that when that was announced. I'm looking to see when this event is here from OpenAI. If it's today, I'll certainly follow it for you guys. Back to you.
There. All right, guys. So that's IBIT. We'll go 2 for 2 on that one.
Hey.
And then TSLL. I know Neil was trading Tesla long this morning as well, too. Very identical entries here, but you can see off of those lows, we just start adding up, and then sure enough, we piece it out all the way up to approximately 83s off of the lows, and then we get our last little bit break even, stop there, and then now we're long some AMD off of the lows, and that's slowly starting to work for us out here. We're going to try to hold this last little bit. I have one out left, all the way to the volume-weighted average price. But there it is, traded 3 names, all green on today's session. It's good when the Blue Jays win. Come in.
Yes.
The next day, you close your Amazon swing position. Bang, contracts closed. 220, shares closed. Bang, 221. Just like that, as quick as you like. And then you have some good intraday trading. And also, the algo rocking and rolling.
All right. Something's going on with Google. So yes.
She just brought it to
Thank you for that, guys. Yes, Google, Adara, it's right there. Google lower after OpenAI announces agentic browser event. Thank you for that, Adara. We're going to keep an eye out on that. 3.5%, and the blood is flowing from the veins of Google right now. Let's have a look at the intraday chart. This is the daily, so we're already touching the 20 EMA on the daily. Let's take a quicker look. Oh no, Joey. The bottom dropping off, but bottoming tail candle. I know you like these candles. I know the algo's based off some of these candles. I'm gonna have to start giving away the secret sauce, Joey. Yeah, no, I'm playing. I don't even know the sauce. 246.86 low, trying to move back into 248.5. Keep your eye out for that 250. We were trading lower to start the day anyway on GOGL, as the boys were talking about. We were trading around 253 and change, and then the blood started dropping 3.5% right now for Google. We will keep you updated on any new news right now. Very graphic description. Sorry, Roland Joe, it's the coffee, brother. You can blame the coffee. All right, here's the deal. If we have more information on Google, rest assured, Adara will bring it to us. But for the moment, we're going to focus on regularly scheduled programming. And if you're a watcher of the midday show, you know exactly what that is. It's going to be some crypto large caps, and then, of course, my favorite, small cap gappers. Case in point, VSEE, penny stock. I'm talking about 89 pennies. Oh, sorry, 80 pennies, 79 pennies. 2 bottoming tail candles into 75. I love this level. Why do I like it? Look at the pre-market high, rejects off 75. We clear, we go up to 99.5, come back down. We're holding 75. I've got 77s, wetting the beak here into the 80s, looking for a continuation up. Anything below 74 ends the trade. Adara.
Yeah, I just want to provide a bit of an update here with OpenAI and Google. As I mentioned earlier, I wasn't quite sure when the event was going to be happening, but this OpenAI event is going to be happening at 1 p.m. Apparently, this is being speculated here. They're going to be announcing a new agentic AI browser, which is, of course, going to be competition for GOGL, which is known for its search browsers. I've been looking for any links for this event. OpenAI is not known for having their events be super easy to find with regards to links or be super accessible. Either way, I certainly have sources on X that I'll be using here to follow this event at 1 p.m. once it starts. I'll remind you guys intermittently, but in case you missed it, that is why GOGL has dropped so sharply. OpenAI said to have this event at 1 p.m. Very likely to be about agentic AI browsing. Back to you.
Gorev, brother, look at this. So screen Assassino, please, and thank you. Yeah, check this out, brother. NVDA today, it picked it up. Like, look how beautiful that is. It picked it up. I just turned to it. Boom. And then you just hit, wow, rewind that. It just hit the target right there. That's beautiful stuff, man. Gore, no, I mean, this is what we were writing, and that worked out. It picked it up here on today's session. So fantastic stuff on that one there, Sharif. So, yeah, really, really good luck on that. And I'm enjoying it. And hopefully, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Rip
Bitcoin is
City.
mad Rip City.
Rip
Back
Rip
up to
City.
64. I bought a little bit more as well too, so not too bad of a look there, Katina, man. This might be the bounce, but there it is. What a beautiful pickup. As soon as you mentioned it, I'm like, yo, did it pick? Let me go and check the algo to see if it picked it up, and it did. So absolutely beautiful stuff. I'm loving that, Sharif. We're still in this AMD long. You're not going to see it. I can add a little bit here because we might get back to the volume weighted average price. I won't put in anything substantial. It'll be essentially just a free roll as we come back into the lower end of the range, and then you guys can just see my average from that point. And if we get back to VWAP, then whoop-de-doo.
I like that. Where is that from?
Young Thug.
Yeah, okay. No, I was like, I thought it was something completely different. All right, all good there. Couple of trades. Let's go into the first one. So we're taking scalps here on VSEE. It's having trouble putting in another higher high on the 5-minute chart. It's making higher lows and they're all bottoming tail, but you can feel maybe that the sellers are in control. We're going to keep an eye out on this one. New trade, CLOV, pulling into the 10 EMA on the 5. This one's up 10.5%. Clover Health, I believe, is CLOV. Let me double check. It is, yes. So let's see if this one holds up at the 10. It's been quite respectful of trend. Let's go ahead and put a possible beak wetter at the $0.25, and then we'll layer some orders possibly into that high a day, which currently is 329. So we'll front run that at 8s. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. But here are the side charts of the day. And look, yes, NERV, the biggest, the baddest of them all today, up 296%. I like it, but the issue with this one is it's $11, $10.50, and it's also continually putting in lower highs. It's up, as I mentioned, almost 300%, but I need a decided trend break, and that to me means above $11, okay? So it just wicked into 11 and rejected again and right back, coming back into that 10.5, where this one has had trouble closing above 10.5. All the 5-minute candles, save and except for what we were doing prior to 10.05, have all closed below 10.5. This is the first candle to actually wick above that level. We'll see what NERV has to offer. There it moves into the mid-80s, looking to take out 11. Let's watch here as NERV tries to recover. There's 11. Seller, 11.25. Get it, NERV. All right, maybe we just got to speak badly about these and then just watch them pop up. So we're going to have to look to get in on this one here some way, somehow. Wait into maybe a 10.5 retracement. I'm not exactly sure what my method is going to be to get into NERV at the moment. I need to watch it a little bit more, kind of get used to some of its characteristics. So NERV in focus for me, but so is RANI. This is a holdover from yesterday. It looks like as if it had a 3 rejection, and it hasn't had quite any success really since that time, because it's been putting in lower highs and lower lows and kind of a rounded top shape. BYND will maintain its position on the side chart for me because of what it did yesterday, and if it starts getting going, I want to know about it. ACRS as well, very stair-step up. Good look, 21.25. Issue is, it's light on volume. We're getting maybe 50,000, 75,000 shares per 5-minute candle, so the spread on this one might be, it may not be for everybody. Keep your eye on it. IVVD, another one. This is not a big mover. 11 and change, looking to go 12% on the day, 221 high, but as you see, respectful trend, higher highs and higher lows off the 10 EMA, and I've already mentioned Clover. ACHV, the last one there on the bottom right of your screen, this one might lose its spot momentarily here on the side chart as it has lost the volume weighted average price, and that's not really my move. So those are the ones we're looking at. CLOV and VSEE are the ones I'm involved in right now. We'll see if they can catch a bid off technical levels. If not, I'm getting the hell out of there. Let's go back to NERV quickly before we send it back to Joey. Yeah, this is the kind of the thing about these small cap gappers. They all have different characteristics, and you'll notice repetition of that same sort of characteristics throughout the day. So if they happen, I'm just giving you an example. If they make a new high, and then every time they make a new high, they retrace aggressively, chances are they're going to keep doing that. And if they obviously have upper wicks that are met with aggressive selling at key levels, it's going to keep doing the same thing. So there you go. You get the 11.25 break, and it drops back all the way down at 10.5, Joey. This could be a buy area because we were talking about 10.5 possibly being that level of resistance. Does it now act as support? We'll have to watch NERV. What do you got? Google's really dropping here, guys.
Google's
go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, Google's getting smoked. What isn't, though, is AMD as it continues to climb higher there, guys. Google down from, what was that candle print, 252 down to 246. We piece a little bit out here, guys. Final target being the volume weighted average price. As we're starting to approach that level, we took out what we added. Now you can see that average getting moved up. Rocking and rolling here, guys, so not too bad of a look. I was looking at a potential bounce on Google, but that signal has now gone and continuing its southeast trajectory, selling aggressively here, guys. The street not liking this whatsoever, so we'll be patient. This might be it for AMD as Google may start to drag the market down. Amazon's holding it up. We got Apple holding around 263 flats roughly, and then we got AMD and NVDA continuing to climb. NVDA up to 182.13, so an absolute beautiful look there. The algo picked this one up, Gore. We were talking about that. Bang. That's some beautiful stuff. And there we go, another pop, guys. I'm going to take this last bit out as AMD is climbing right back into the volume-weighted average price. It's been, you know what, a pretty good day all around here, guys. Long-term pick, what would you choose? So gold, silver, ETH, IBIT. Oh, man, I got to go with the digital. I'm going digital gold. I think a lot of individuals, yeah, I mean, the favoring is in the actual physical gold, which, I mean, you can't go wrong with. Obviously, what we've seen over the past year or so in gold has been absolutely phenomenal. But there it is, a big time out on AMD. We catch the long on Tesla. That works out. We caught a couple shorts on Bitcoin. That's still climbing higher. Let's rock and roll. We grabbed a little bit more, and we're all out of Amazon because that's at 222 now, even a little bit north of that, Sharif.
All right, we're doing it live here on NERV. We got 77s. We just wet the beak through 11. 11 resistance right now. NERV, 11 resistance. Anything below 1040 ends the trade for me. We're in at 77s. There's a huge seller at 11, and they keep refreshing. Even if you clear the whole dollar, they're refreshing their position at, 1104, 1105. Let's keep an eye out on this one. Dropping back into the mid-90s over here, looking for continuation through 11. It's higher highs and higher lows. Current bar low is 1054. So that's what's going on, Katina man. You're short Google? The Katina man short the market right now, and he's yelling up a storm because he's plinting. That's why. Get it, Katina man. Here we go, baby. We're taking more out through the Katina man's getting crazy. I love it. All right, here we go. 1105. We got this one. Looking for continuation on NERV. Show me eights now. Can we get low teens? We still got some over here looking for that 11.25 pop. Here's what I'm doing. I'm dropping my stop to current bar low. As I mentioned, current bar low 54. So let's go ahead and wait at 49 just to give it a little bit of room there. So that's exactly what we'll do, and then I'll cancel my prior stop. So make sure to clean up your stops, guys. Don't be a schmuck like me and make mistakes like that. So there we go. We've cleaned up that stop. We've got a couple of outs left on this bad boy, but this current bar on the 5-minute is a lower high. So the prior bar high goes to about 1129. This current bar is 1111. So we definitely need continuation. It's good that we have higher lows, but we also need those higher highs to keep the trend going. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now on NERV. Anything below the $0.5 ends the trade for me. So keep an eye on that. Let's go back to CLOV. No prints yet on this. We got 23s. This is much slower of a move, so you don't need to manage this as, aggressively. Looking for that continuation possibly into the high of the day at around 29. Why there's so many pulls? Wasn't there just a pull like a second ago? I'm cautious. I'm choosing caution.
I went full send.
I just wanted to get the pull to get out of my way, right? So then that's what I'm looking at right now, Joey. NERV, and I got CLOV. There goes NERV again into 11, and again it's met with some selling. Let's watch now. 1108. 1110, 1115. All right, so making a little bit of higher lows, and then it drops right back into 11 again. So let's keep patience here as I'm looking for that $0.25 print. We're going to the big desk.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here, Netflix earnings, of course, tonight. If you're looking for an earnings preview in terms of what to look for from the report and what Netflix did last quarter, I've been posting these starting, I guess, about a month ago now for major earnings names. You can find this on X at TTV Research. This is now live on X, and there will be a whole bunch of these as we continue earnings season for these major earnings plays. One for TSLA is already ready to go. It'll be posted tomorrow. So again, stay tuned on X if you're looking for earnings content with this very busy earnings season. I have been posting implied moves infographics for all of the names and also specific previews for names like NFLX, which are certainly going to be worth watching. Again, guys, Google's still dropping. In case you missed the moves on GOOGL. OpenAI apparently hosting a live stream at 1 p.m. A lot of speculation that it's going to be involving announcing a new agentic browser, and Google, as someone who is very much in the browser space, negatively impacted by that catalyst. Back to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Okay, we got multiple eyes across the board on this potential 5-minute print here on Google, looking for that long there. And most definitely, we want to see if the algo picks it. I'm going to stop talking about it. But anyways, yeah, guys, not too bad of a look. Let's see if that breaks. We're going to get involved on it with it as soon as we crack and hold this 5-minute print. I mean, we do have to give ourselves a little bit of risk. So grabbing some at like maybe 50% of the wick, that might be a little bit of a stretch. But if we continue to bounce here, because that was some aggressive selling down 3.8%, I think that we might be able to get a little bit of a bounce back towards the volume weighted average price. So it's patience right now. That's exactly what we want to see from a technical standpoint. We have the volume correlating with it, and then we have that completely closed hammer candle. So yeah, I'm just going to be patient, and if it comes anywhere south of that body of the candle, then I'm going to look to be getting involved. And you have to just put on the risk, because this is a pretty high quality setup. I'm going to put it around the B area, and if it starts to work, we're going to be adding into it substantially, because this has a high probability, and I like it a lot. So we'll continue to monitor what Google's up to. I don't know if the catalyst is cause for that selling that we just experienced, but hey, listen to what the price action is telling you. We have multiple engulfing volume prints, and then now we have something that can act as potential stopping volume. So let's rock and roll. I think this might be a good opportunity to get our toes a little wet as we're coming south into this body. This is almost exactly what I want to see. Nothing too aggressive to the downside and holding key levels. So enough talk. Let's get a little bit more action and wait for a potential pop there in GOOG. Where am I? GL, 5-letter ticker there, Sharif. There we go. AMD starting to climb higher. That hit target at the volume weighted average price. We were out just a little bit south of that, but not too bad of a trade there. Boom. You add, we get the reload up here at 236.50, and then we take it out at 237.24. So not too bad of a look on AMD. Now let's get Google rocking and rolling. This might take some time to turn around, but I like our chances here, Sharif.
All right, man. This is what happens, guys, with these small cap gappers, and you know, yeah, that's what it is. So we followed our plan to the T. We got out at 10.5. If it failed 10.5, that's exactly what it did. It rocketed up. It made lower highs. I'm talking about NERV. So we had 77s on. Best print I had was in the high teens. So yeah, we don't make nearly as much as I had hoped for something as parabolic and as strong as NERV, but it is still putting in generally lower highs. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. CLOV, decent, still stair-stepping up, showing me 27s. It just got into 28s. We have a profit taker at 29s, front-running that level. New trade, I'm back into VSEE. So this one broke trend, held VWAP, but I fear a bull trap because we had an aggressive candle to make a new high, not intraday high, but local area high. And then it's dropping back down. So we have 85s on at the moment. I'm looking for continuation into local area highs, possibly 90, give or take. Here we go, moving back into about 83.5, 84. Looks like we're close to hitting that 84 penny level. So I'm keeping my eye on that. BYND's reawakening though, and this could be interesting. So let's load up BYND. It just got a nice breakout candle into that $0.25 level. Let me just add BYND over here because it's not updating. Do you have that issue where your charts don't update unless they're on the side chart?
No. Sometimes they just take forever to load.
Oh yeah, well, nice for you. Here we go. BYND up 58% and looking for more. 232. This one broke trend. So I perceive there to be resistance at 230. I know we have a 230, a 248 high day, but look what it was doing over here. It kept rejecting 230 in the pre-market. So I am kind of on the lookout right now for continuation on BYND. I'm going to get in here and I'm going to defend this into 220. Yeah, is this the right move? I'm just trying to think. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in, and we're going to try to defend this into 220. I have no idea what the system, what's going on with the system today, man. There we go. Like, what's wrong with this thing? Bizarre. All right, here we go. Nice. Now we're in. Now we're involved. BYND, looking for a continuation above 230. What did we get? We got 29s. So not bad. Let's go ahead and post at some levels over here. If we get a nice price spike up, we want to get involved. So that's what we're looking for there on BYND. Let's go manage some of these trades though. CLOV still hanging out near highs. Nothing for me to do there. VSEE, zagging, not giving me that 85 break and take. We've got some orders posted here. Let's go ahead and post some more, possibly a little bit higher at 88. So that's what I'm looking at. Joe, what do you got?
Good stuff there, guys. All right, so we're still sitting in this trade, slowly starting to cook up for us. Man, it did. All right, good stuff. So yeah, this is working, guys. I think if we crack this 247 level, this can give us an opportunity to free roll our position, add a little bit of size, and then get that move back towards the volume weighted average price. I think that if Google starts to rock and roll and climb higher, it's going to drag the overall market with it. Considering it's held up pretty well. We had Amazon climbing higher and then Google tanking, and the market really didn't overreact, which is really good. So any form of a bid climb higher in Google, then we're gonna I think we can have the ability to head into the volume weighted average price. Now AMD, once again, guys, right back towards VWAP. That's the primary target on that one. That's looking really good. And IBIT, haven't talked too much about it, but here it goes all the way, opening price at $61 to $64. So that's a beautiful, beautiful look in some of these crypto names. Haven't looked at Ether, so we'll go ETHA and see what that one's up to. 29.20 to 30.72, so a big time move in some of these cryptos coins. So not too bad. We'll hold off on holding, or sorry, what we're gonna do essentially is just be patient and wait, because we're not cracking the lows. So once we break through that resistance zone, I mentioned before, next target's going to be VWAP, and that's exactly what I'm gonna be patient. It may take some time. I mentioned multiple entries might be the scenario we're sitting in. Considering the momentum to the downside, it's going to take a while for the ship to turn around. So Sharif, I'm sitting in this Google. We caught it on the algo. We're loving it right now.
I love it. This guy, he's pumped about the algos. I'm pumped for him, man, because that's a hell of a move, Joey. Shout out to you, my man. Hard work pays off, baby. All right, here we go. We're doing VSEE. We're doing it live. We've got some shares on over here at 85, 84, 99 technically. Current bar high, 87.25. Looking for continuation on my friend over here, VSEE. Just hoping it's not one of these bull traps where we continue trend, which is lower high. So here's what I mean by that. Like if you were to draw this trend line, this would be a clean downtrend, even if we did, you know, rounded bottom, defend VWAP, and pop back up. This would still be a continuation of trend. This is what concerns me. So if we get above 90, I don't think that that's a continuation of trend. That will be breaking downward structure. And that's kind of what I'm looking for there. 87's popping up. Seller at 87. Can we shake them? 87s, 88s, Joey. We get the print. We're looking for more. We're going to post at 89. And you know where we're going to post after 89, Joey?
90. 90. Come on, 90.
He was concentrating. I'll give him that. I'll give him that, Neil. He was concentrating on what he needed to do, so that's respectful there. But shout out to the man, Joe.
I got it right, though. 90.
You did get it right. Yeah. Well, that's the life of a penny stock trader, right? You're taking profits at these penny levels. That's what they are. All right, so that's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and have a look at into the high of the day. We're showing 29s right now, which is the high of the day, so we want 30s. But how about that BYND trade, man? I want to shout out D Westermeyer, man. He's been holding this one for a hot minute, and he's got a target in mind, and he's going to take profits at their target. D, I'm not going to let him know where you're taking profits, but I just want to let them know that you are going to take profits. Shout out to the man who called this one out for me yesterday, because I personally wasn't interested in trading this until D called it out, and then I had a look, and I did like the technical. So there we go. Nice breakout there on BYND. We'll take a nice price spike up into a local area high into 37s, showing me 36s again. We've got, what do we got on this one? 29s, so not a bad look. Looking for continuation here on BYND. BYND. Quickly back to AWSE as this one shows up at 88s again. We need a break of 90, man. We need a continuation into 90 and then a nice squeeze into that 99.5 penny high that we've got. Packing my patience here, Joey, on VSEE, excuse me.
Beautiful stuff, brother. All right, that's not what we want. Let's take a look at our top performing sectors on the day, and see what we got going on, guys. Consumer discretionary leading the way, up 1.3%. Industrials in second place, up 1%, 1 1/10 there approximately. Healthcare just under 0.5%. The materials down about 1/3, a little bit more than that, guys. Consumer staples down 0.5%, and utilities down 0.9%.
Okay.
Adara, talk to us.
We're talking about crypto, and it's pretty interesting here. Bitcoin initially looked like we were going to break that 3-day green streak. Now it looks like we're actually trying to extend that streak to 4 days of upside. Nice push up here from BTC, recovering really nicely after dropping for the latter half of last week. Now, the next level here of resistance, potentially, that we need to get above is that 116,000 level. That did serve as resistance going back to last Monday. Let's see if we can crack above it here. Before we send you back to the guys, let's take a look at some other cryptocurrencies as well. Ethereum, much like Bitcoin, continuing to try to push back higher after dropping. But unlike Bitcoin, we actually had a slightly higher low when we had that drop last week. So interesting look here. Our low from last Friday here coming in around just above 3,600, but certainly above the most recent, I guess, lower low there on Friday, October 10th, around 3,500. It's an interesting look for Ethereum. Take a look here at Solana as well. Solana looking actually very similar to Ethereum and Bitcoin as it has recently. We are in a downtrend from these local highs, but forming strong support here around 175. One more time here, for those who missed the news on Google, I do want to remind you guys, OpenAI set to have an event at 1 p.m. Eastern. Highly speculated they're going to be announcing a browser, which of course would be likely in competition with Google search. Back to you.
Get Rob. I'm not gonna deal. This is not my job, right? Like I'm level. I'm trying to layer the orders into this 90 penny level because I have a feeling it's not going to spend all that much time in any one price level. So VWSE, we got shares on this one, looking for a move into one. Separately, continuing to watch CLOV as it steps up, but TT Mass telling me, Sharif, VELO, low volume runner. Let's take a look here at VELO, see what this one is all about.
Bang.
Let's take a look here, Joey.
All right, brother.
VELO, okay, not bad. Breaking out there on into 7 1/3. It's got a wide spread. It just jumped from 31 into 22. It's not too bad. It's up 22%-ish. Thank you for this one. I'm going to throw it up on the side chart. If it gets more volume, and obviously I'll be able to see the volume, it's done about 824,000 shares. If it picks up in volume and it looks good, I'm going to be very involved in it. Trust me. I have no qualms about trading these ones with lower volume if the price action and the chart pattern is sound. So I'm good with that, Joey. What do you got?
All right, good stuff there. Bang, we just caught that fill on Google. So a nice little move right there, guys, off of 246. A little bit more, so we'll hit it. Dollar Club just like that, folks. Man, oh man, what a great print. What a great print. I'm glad that Gorov's involved. I'm glad that Los Pollos is involved as it's continuing to climb higher, and this is exactly what we were looking to see. Google breaking trend as well, too. So I know Neil might be looking at, or sorry, Apple breaking trend. I know Neil might be looking at this. He's a big fan of these trend breaks. Boom, to the top side. I want to break down Amazon a little bit here and get my just get behind my thoughts on what the swing trade was. And I'm more than happy to be out. Again, it was a successful trade, and we're not going to complain about it whatsoever. 2-2-30. That's the thing, Sharif. You can always, there's always more, right? That's unfortunately the human nature of things. But I'm like, hey, I'm accepting of this. I'm really happy. Obviously, there was a little execution issues, and I told you guys from a sizing standpoint, I didn't get in as much as I wanted to. But my goal was to go from 213 to 216.50, and I held it to 21 and 20. So 20 and 21. So I'm not going to complain. But anyways, enough of that. Why did I decide to go long? I mentioned a while ago, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for this name south of any key support levels and indecision prints. So essentially what happened is we have the downtrend breaking and correlating with the setup that we're specifically looking for. Now, what am I going long off of? This this is the signals that we're looking for each and every day, and we'll pull out. Let's get all of these lines away, and then we'll get VWAP out of our way as well too. But right at some key support levels, you have buying pressure starting to step in, and sure enough, you have that indecision print. There's no volume supporting it, but I like the potential bounce off of that level. Why? Because the risk profile was defined, Sharif. If it broke 210, you're out of the trade. You're wrong. Be patient, wait a couple more days, wait another intraday session, whatever it may be, and then look for another indecision print. We didn't have to on this one. So we're fortunate enough to get the move that we were looking for in a span of a couple of days. And I mean, for a swing trade, that's not bad whatsoever. You can obviously always do a little bit more, but with that one, I'll say, hey, there we go. Good work. Adara, what do you got for us?
I want to mention Adobe here. Someone in the chat mentioned this one, so thank you to our chat for having eyes on every stock. Adobe is incredibly strong today. I looked it up. There wasn't any news today, but yesterday morning, the company actually announced they're launching a Foundry service that builds custom generative AI models for enterprises. So interesting look there for ADBE, Foundry play, I guess, or Founder service play, oddly enough, here for Adobe. Nice push to the upside. No news from today, but I did want to address the strength in this name, guys. Back to you.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Charles. Line back. Once again, guys, another move. I mean, you take $1 plus on this Google trade, and now it's starting to come in a little bit. We took a little bit more off there as it's struggling to climb higher. But other than that, Sharif, I like what the overall market's doing. NVDA putting in some topping signals, but it's hard to short this name considering that it's continuing to climb higher and almost at opening price.
All right, BYND is coming back in. I was looking for continuation. Look, it's not below the 10 EMA. It's breaking trend though, at least on the 5, because it is making a new low. So it was preceded by this candle, which is a doji candle, which actually closed yellow on my screen. Yellow means that the opening price and the closing price were the same. And we know what the doji candle means. It is a candle of indecision and often a reversal candle. So here's the deal. We're going to get out of BYND here. If it takes out 40, I'll get back in. I really want to focus, though, on my trade on NERV. So it seems to be putting in generally support at 10s. I've given it to 950. I've got small share size, but I'm looking for a price spike up into the 10s. So I've layered my orders all the way up into around 11. It's got support here at the 20, but there generally seems to be this buy consolidation area in and around 10. There's 25. It's not. We got the print at 25. Nice move, man, on NERV, but we're not getting continuation. So we did get a 25 penny price spike up into, okay, now we're showing 25s again, 28s. Looking for continuation into the 30s. The next profit taker for me is in the 40s, though. We're looking for a squeeze into 11, possibly maybe a little bit higher. So that's what I'm looking at for on NERV, looking for continuation. There is, I perceived, a buyer in and around that $10 area as a support level. But you know, the bamboozlement is fast and furious on these ones. So don't fall in love with it, man. 1026, looking for a move into the 30s. Still haven't seen any 30 prints here locally on the time and sales. Still mid-20s, showing up mid to low 20s. In fact, not even high 20s. So that's what we'll keep an eye out on there. Nothing for me to do other than to either get stopped out or take profits, quite frankly. So here we go, 25 seller again showing up, and we're unable to shake him on this latest price ascent. I'm happy with my exit on BYND, continued to bleed, so we took the profits there, but it is at the 10 EMA. So watch out for a hold around the low 20s to the $0.25. Keep your eye out on BYND. Just because I got out doesn't mean it's not going to run. And lastly here, CLOV continues to trade at the high of the day. It's showing me 29s. We still got shares on this one, so I don't mind wetting the beak randomly over here to take some profit. Looking, though, for the high of the day break, and then obviously a move higher than $0.33. So that's all I'm looking at right now. We're really trying to do the most damage on NERV, but really unsure about how this cookie crumbles over here as we're still doing the dance here, Joey, the support and resistance dance in and around 12.
Beautiful stuff, guys. All right, so you can see that I am all out of Google. Okay. Yes, that is correct. But I mean, hey, we're not going to complain whatsoever. We'll go 4 for 4 on
4%, Joey.
Yeah, down 4%. Yeah, getting slacked, man. A heavy hit there on Google. But I mean, it was just off the all-time highs, essentially, right? I mean, 257. Not too bad. I mean, anything south of it's the exact same thing. All right, let's pull it up here. Great. Oh, thanks for pointing that out, though, Sharif, because now you just gave me an idea.
Oh,
light bulb moment.
Boy.
I don't have I need a light bulb. The Katina Man light bulb. Yeah, he's got the light bulb one there. But no, in all seriousness, let's head over to the daily. I mean, if we're fortunate enough to get anything south of 235.
Joey, can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, there's an IPO, and thank you for the individual in the chat that mentioned this IPO. I forget your name. HAMA. HAMA on the NQ, 17.5% in Greensville. It just opened up a few minutes ago. I want to say 11:36. It is halted now to the upside at 470. It's done over 500,000 shares, 548,000. We'll be able to fly, not blind here. What's the opposite of blind? We'll be able to see during the halt. What I'm talking about is the theoretical auction price, the top. That is basically the equilibrium between buyers and sellers, or the auction between buyers and sellers, I should say, during the halt. Now it's 494, 495, HMA, or HMA, yes, on the NQ, moving up. Halted to the upside. We're going to the big desk. Oh, no, NERV taking out levels, Joey.
Let's go.
There we go into the $0.50.
You got
nice.
The bang, man.
Yeah, we go. I don't. You have it.
Thank you. To you.
I know, but I didn't get a chance to put it in. Now we'll go to the big desk. Sorry.
Yeah, a little bit more context here for AHMA. This is Ambitions Enterprise Management. IPO expected range here from $4 to $5, and ends up getting priced here at the low end of the range, $4, opens exactly at that $4 price. This is actually a Dubai-based tour operator and travel agency, raising $6 million by offering 1.5 million shares. So 1.5 million share IPO here, AHMA, again, Dubai-based company here, guys. Back to you.
Right, we get a price spike into 10.5 on NERV, and that's where I took profits. But the bamboozlement is fast and furious, and it's turning into a topping till candle. You best believe this drops down into my levels, Joey. We're flattening out. We're long 998. This touches 10 single digits. That's it. We'll take it out break even there as it continues to bleed down. Look, man, how many times is this false broke? It did it to me here. I got profitable on it, but we took break-even trade. Again, I got it off 10. We took to 10.5, and then the last remaining amount break-even again. So this one has a tendency to false break these candles. So that has to be part of your assessment in looking at the characteristics of the name and how that tailors your approach. So that's going to certainly affect my approach, both in sizing, stop placement, and definitely for chart patterns that I'm looking for here. I'm not necessarily going to see the breakout on NERV in the way that I may see it on a different one because of the umpteen amount of false breaks. So NERV, it's still on the trading list over here, but it's quickly losing its allure to me because just way too many false breaks. So we'll keep an eye out on that, Joe. Anyway, CLOV, we're heading higher, looking for more profits on this one. What do you got?
All right, good stuff. No, Loon, I don't know what you're going on about over there.
What you going on about?
Yeah, what you going on? Yeah, what you going on about?
Oh, that's English as it gets, baby.
All right, guys. Hopefully you're still. Pardon me?
Go Arsenal.
Go Arsenal.
You know we're first, right?
Chelsea, right? Oh, this looks like a Chelsea sweater.
That's crazy. I can't believe you just said that, bro. Can't believe you just said that, bro.
It does, man.
You can't mix up two London teams.
All right,
That's blasphemous, Joey. At least you didn't say Tottenham. I'll give you that, Joey. I'll give you that. No, Tottenham, I'll believe.
That's crazy. No, in all seriousness, guys, we're out of this Google trade. There might be a good opportunity to get back in. If we come back into 246, then I like our chances. Market's rebounding nice. Ethereum starting to climb back towards that high of the day. Bitcoin climbing towards the high of the day. It's extremely, time out for Joe, yeah. It's extremely strong, guys. So I think the shorts are going to be significantly more difficult in IBIT. And who's to say they're not the same thing for Google, right? You can see the momentum and the strength. The volume is to the downside. And essentially what we're trying to do is catch some reversion type trades, those retracements, those pullbacks. But how deep are they going to be? Right now, what it's displaying is that it's not going to crawl back to the volume-weighted average price, and that's a primary target. Can I be wrong? Hopefully I am. But as soon as it cracks that lower end of that candle and fills 80% of that wick to the downside, I don't like our chances. But if we do come into the scenario where we crack this support level, put an indecision print lower than that, so therefore we construct a higher low, then I like my chances for a reload there on Google. So just thinking out loud and telling you essentially what my game plan is, strategizing for those trades. It's the exact same thing with Amazon. Plan the trade, trade the plan. And then you can't get mad at yourself at the end of the day if you just follow your rules and you lock in a little bit of profits. As Neil and a lot of great traders like to say, no one's gone broke taking them, so you may as well continue to do so. And I think that's when we're at our best, is when we're just locking it on the way up, just locking those gains. And hopefully we have the ability to do that one more time here in Google. AMD we're nice on. Google we're positive on. IBIT we're positive on as well too. And TSLL, so not too bad of a look. We'll run through a quick trade review before we hop onto the old scanner and see what we got from a volume standpoint. Google, bang, rocking and rolling. IBIT, shorts, we're out, bang, rocking and rolling. We'll take that all day, every day. What else do we got on here?
What do you got, Joey?
AMD. Which way did we go on that one, Sharif? Long, bang. We'll take that one out at the top here as it's continuing to climb. Wow, AMD, what a big time move back towards the middle of the range and back north of the volume-weighted average price. So what a recovery in AMD. It was tanking earlier in the open. Katina Man had that one. Beautiful stuff. One more, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Take
TSL. All right. I thought you were looking at me like you had something breaking out there. But did you have something to say? When you do that, Bush, you have something to say.
Yeah, you know me well now, right?
Yeah.
I just want to shout out Adam James, man. Another win, another cleanie. I didn't even know they called clean sheets cleanies, but I guess that's what they're calling it.
But they say that, man. Like
I've never heard it, though.
Yeah.
Another clean sheet. Joe, 8 games, 3 goals. Arsenal. 8 games, allowed 3 goals. Stingy-ass defense. I'm good with that.
That is stingy.
Shout out to my man. Calafiori is that guy. Let me tell you, man. I was worried about Cala last year, man. Ricky, because he's great offensively. I felt he was a bit of a defensive liability because he lacks a little speed, especially because he plays on the wing and he's going to be exposed to, obviously, wingers. And so that concerned me a little bit, but he's clearly made strides in his defensive game, so I'm very pleased to see that. Shout out to Adam James. Neil, I have a quick question. What position did Harold Reynolds play? Yeah. Second base, thank you. That's exactly what I thought. I thought he was he was a shortstop, but yeah, definitely in and around that area. I was just talking to somebody in the chat about that. I wasn't sure. Joey, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. I messed up a little bit there. I don't know if you've seen it on the position board. I accidentally went short on Google, which I did not want to, but I got out right away because what I wanted to essentially do is post up at 246 flats. So there it is short, and I'm like, oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I hit the wrong hotkey, and it got me involved. So let's get in at 246. We're going to post up. I don't know if we're going to get it right now, considering it looks like it wants to break the top end of this resistance area. But, hey, and we got to take the chances. We'll put ourselves out there to see if we can catch that fill. If it breaks through 247, there could be a potential trade there. But I don't want to get the top end of the range in a choppy stock. That is essentially the momentum is to the downside. So patience is, I think, really key on that potential setup. Hopefully you guys are still holding on to it. I think that's going to be really important. I'll pull this up here momentarily. Beautiful stuff. That's on NVDA, picking up that signal earlier on the day. I don't believe it picked up the AMD one. Yeah, because there's not enough of the wick there. Now, as for Google, picked up that. That makes me super amped. And there was one more that it missed that Jose was messaging me. He's like, hey, did it pick up this? Which it should have, but it did not. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we're more than happy that it's grabbing at least some of them. So bang, 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 Google rock and roll, back to VWAP. And yeah, hey man, you never know.
What?
We're going to continuously refine this. Sharif, hopefully by the end of the weekend, we get it onto the API, and then get it rolling.
You're less than a week deep in doing this whole thing. So like just look at like your
weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're less than a week deep.
Yeah,
you know
I'm ready to rock on the AP.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you guys know we have an algo room, right?
Yeah,
so they know we got an algo room. And so one of the his name is Joe, but we call him Jose because you can't have two Joes.
He was
doesn't
here
work.
before me.
Doesn't matter what he's Jose, you're Joe.
Yeah.
So this Jose guy, he's part of the algo crew, and he actually writes Python quite well. He was looking at Joey's work, man. He was like giving this guy applause.
He was like, yo.
So Joey's doing it live.
He's like, yo, wow. Last night we were working on it until 6 at the office. We were talking about it, and then we were here till 6. Yeah, just working on it. Yeah, and then I went home. I'm not going to tell all the details because there's zero chance of doing that. But I made the.
Okay, now I have to know.
No.
Now I have to know.
Of what I did. We were working on a lot of things, dude. I made the littlest simplistic tweak, and it changed the results of it drastically.
Seriously,
yeah. So instead of going from a 2-to-1 risk-to-reward ratio, I went from a 1.9 to 1.
And it made a big difference.
Big time difference. Because the 2-to-1, I don't know what it is, but more profitable trades. So now what I'm looking to implement in it is on a 1-to-1, I wanted to add 50% of the size. So when you hit a 1-to-1 risk-to-reward ratio, increase the position size to 50%.
That's brilliant.
So you're exponentially bet size.
Because you got some profits, so you're playing with house money at that
point.
When
it comes back to break even, if it comes back to your initial entry price, you get it out, full position, at only a half-hour loss.
That's fantastic.
Right? So you're staying.
You're not just looking for the upside, man. You're looking for both ways.
You got to protect the downside as well, too. So yeah. This thing is going to be absolutely monstrous, and I can't wait. Hopefully by the weekend. I don't want to rush it. I was talking to my brothers over the weekend. I'm like, man, this might take me substantially longer than what I want. And then when it spit out that one, and I'm like, I was just like flabbergasted. I'm like, no way. Yeah, I was so amped. And then sure enough, we're going to refine it all weekend and hopefully get it into the API and get it rocking and rolling on Monday. Enough of that. Even though it's really important, there goes Google. Guys, I hope you're still holding on to it because I think now, considering we haven't broke 246, you have that chance to head towards the volume weighted average price. Now at 247.50, a little under 247.50 and looking to break, I like our chances in Google.
All right, taking profits here on my friend BYND as it continues to trend up at 43s. Good move. We got BYND at 31. That's a second entry. Pardon me. There it is now showing 44s. We initially got in 25s, scalped up, stopped out, more than break even, actually, better than break even, I should say. Got back in, and now we're scalping again. So let's let BYND cook. We're going to see where this one wants to go. 248 high. There's 245, Joey. We don't even have any outs, man. What are we doing if we don't have any outs? Let's go and take that at the high of the day. So by definition, I've got my out at 49 now. 48 is the high of the day, so it would have to be a new high for me to get printed here. We were higher in the pre-market, which obviously is a little bit of a bit of a cap. I think we got to about 250 from what I can see there. 250 in the pre. That was around 920 or so. So right on the verge of the market opening. I think we got to 248, 250. All right, just before I get to the super chat assassino, I want to shout out Marlin. Any chance you guys want to have a look at CRDL? I started buying a little while back. So CRDL, Cardiol Therapeutics, Canada-based company, already have my attention. $100 million market cap. They're a clinical stage life sciences company focused on developing anti-inflammatory, anti-fibrotic therapies for the treatment of heart disease. You're gonna love the noble cause. Let's go and throw in the ticker, CRDL. Intraday, looking good, not too bad. Light volume, of course. About 1 million shares traded, but up 8 4/5 on the day. What's the daily look like? Not that bad. I've seen way worse dailies than this. Trust me, bro. Let's go to the weekly. Probably going to get a little bit worse. Yeah, so highs into 650. No reverse splits. So this is all organic price action. No reverse splits at all to be seen over here. So not too bad. Let's go back to the daily and figure out some technical areas. We're below the 50. We're working into the 50. It looks like we've been using the 50 exponential as resistance as of late. I don't know, man. You know, you're getting a little above the 50, a little bit below. The 200 is at $1.25. Hard to gauge trend on this. You're still putting in lower highs, but you also are well off the bottom there from, I want to say, when was this? January, March, late 2022, early 23, you got to 50 penny status, and now you're like a dollar status. Not too bad. I don't know anything about the company or what they've got in the product pipeline, so I don't want to speak to that, but the technicals are meh. Not bad, not fantastic. All right, super chat. Alexander, Alexander Lowe, shout out to my man. 100 Hong Kong dollars.
Ooh.
Joey, help me out over here because we don't
brother.
have it right there. I lost 80% of my capital in the past 2 weeks. Let me read it right there. In the past 2 weeks, what suggestion would you give for me to slowly grind back up with the remaining capital? I only trade stocks and don't do others like options. Okay, so that's very, very specific. Thank you for that. Look, drawdowns are a part of the game, but I don't think that 80% should be something that you accept, as part of the process. So what I want to say to you is small wins, okay? It may take you a long time to recover that, obviously 80%, but you're not going to recover it if you stop, okay? And that's what I mean to say. So the other thing that I want to say is get into the habit of categorizing the trading setups by quality. A setup, B setup, C setup. So if you categorize them and then you stick to the A setups, you may not make as much to the upside because the upside may be a bit limited, but at least you may increase your win percentage. And I think that that's probably the best case for you, that you actually get the psychology back on track, get a couple of dubs, in addition, obviously, to beefing up your account again and recovering some of the money that you've lost. I think that that's probably my methodology. I would start really, getting into the habit of categorizing the setups by grade, and then really only taking the top trades only for a period of time until I've, number one, recovered psychologically from the loss. I'm not saying that you're damaged psychologically, but I personally would be if I dropped 80%. And then also, you're getting a lot of good quality setups. How would you approach that, Joe?
Man, I'm gonna give it to this individual.
You're gonna give it to him straight.
Because sometimes in life, you don't want to hear what you want, but sometimes you just need to hear it. It's not acceptable to draw down that much. There's obviously some risk measure issues going along there because you shouldn't be drawing down that much. Again, everybody has their bad things, and knock on wood, I hope that I don't ever experience anything like that, because psychologically that's going to be extremely tough to recover from, and then even from a technical standpoint. But first and foremost, what you want to start learning is risk management. You can grind back from that 110%, but at the end of the day, you got to make sure you have the right risk measures in place, otherwise you're going to lose that other remaining 20% that you have. So at the end of the day, study up on some risk management, understand your stop loss. If you don't have a trade, if you don't have a stop in your trade, then you don't have a trade, essentially. Again, it goes from everything that we talk about. Sean does it, Sharif does it, Neil most definitely does it. Abide by all of their stops, and you need to implement that into your trading. Otherwise, you're not going to be here very long. I have no idea how long you've been trading, but hopefully that lesson is learned and you can start rocking and rolling again. But it's going to be a little bit of a grind. Wait for some good names to come a little bit lower, and you're slowly going to have to allocate them and then wait for them to pop once again. So tell them to start selling. No, I'm not even going to do that, because you can take Butter Biscuit Head. When you're writing options, he's not familiar. He already said that he's not familiar with trading options or anything along those lines. And by no means would I get anybody who's new to them to start writing them. That's not a good idea. Not like me, right? Like what I did, and I learned the hard way. I took some hefty hits in my earlier days, and even last summer I took a pretty bad hit. A couple of them, anyways, on some short.
That was
calls.
a liquidity event, bro. Like that was that's a black swan event.
Yeah.
But you did learn from that with
Big
stops.
time.
And number one, you were talking about the liquidity or illiquidity of the options, and the fact that you couldn't get filled at that level. And I also think you learned about stop placement specifically, or stop types, order types.
No, it was the stop types. It wasn't the liquidity. It was a different name. I remember you were talking. A while ago. No, but you were right about
stop type.
Yeah, the stop type, because I wouldn't have taken that big of a hit if I had the right stop order implemented. But you're like, hey, no, remember you showed me. You're like, no, you put the wrong one in, and I'm like, hey, what the heck? It eventually filled me, but significantly, massive slippage, which was not good. And then also what I was going to refer to is my Tesla. I was writing calls in Tesla and I got smoked on those on one day as well too. So I mean, I had a condor and I'm like, you know what? No, I want a little bit more cash. Had a bull put spread and I'm like, no, let me condor this and then sell some calls on it. And then sure enough, I got gamma squeeze. So I'm gonna say no to the writing. I think equity is your best chance. Why? Because you don't have to worry about decay and anything along those lines when you get into the fancy dancy of options trading. But yeah, you can recover from this. But my friend Alexander, first and foremost, it's risk management. From here on out, you can't risk more than 2% of your account per trade. And that may seem not like much, but you have to have the ability to grind back and head a little and get back to where you were. It's going to be tough. You're going to need your account to double essentially, which is not more than double, which is not going to be easy. But there goes Google climbing higher. Oh man, I hope you guys are still sitting in this trade Gorev and Los Polios because I didn't catch that fill. As soon as I posted up right there, we're off to the races. I think it's only a matter of time until we head back into the volume weighted average price. See how we react around that specific level. 249, I think it's going to be a beautiful opportunity, but we were in just a little bit north of 246. That would have been a couple of dollars right there. I hope you guys are still in.
All right. Ram.
You
there?
Yeah.
Ram. Ozan is asking about you. Ozan is asking about you. He's like, you left him out.
He left me. Oh, no.
It's so mad. It's her birthday tomorrow, by the way. If anybody wants to wish Ram a happy
23.
birthday. She's turning, what is she turning, 25?
Yeah, 24.
Turning 25? You're turning 25, Ram? Yeah. Oh,
why you gotta say it like that, though, Ram?
I think she's in a bad mood because she's getting old. It's okay. That's fine, Ram. We all get old, too. No worries.
You get sleep tonight? Last night? No?
All right, guys, I want to mention NUVB. Bovin special. This is another Bovin special. NUVB into the day high. Shout out to my man Bovin. I think he's long from like 370s or something like that. So he's well in the money there. But I took a look at this one. Breaking out as we speak into the high of the day. It's up about 12 1/3 right now. It hasn't even touched the 10 EMA since the candle at 1045. 416 high, keeps printing new highs. Shout out to the OG Bovin. I'd be picking this up on maybe, one red candle pullback. That seems to be the characteristic that this one's had basically since 1030 onwards. It got into about VWAP at around 1030, and since that time, we've had all of 3 red candles. Each one basically got bought up and we've made higher highs. So NUVB, not the biggest percentage winner on the day, but nonetheless, it is a good one. Now, BYND pulls back into the 10 EMA, gives me a doji candle. And so I punched back in. I got more shares there right at 234. And here it comes again into 239. In fact, the price spiked up. Let's go ahead and wait a little bit higher. Looking for continuation back into the $0.50 on BYND, adding into the pullbacks. We're going to pause for a second. We're going to send you to Happening Now. Then Neil's got his lesson of the day.
A little bit of weakness in the morning. The market really waking up here to the upside. Still not at yesterday's high quite yet, but certainly heading towards that level. We didn't have a ton of economic data or updates today. Apparently, U.S. President Donald Trump hosting a Rose Garden lunch at 12 p.m. So I'll be covering that for you guys in case there's anything of note happening there. He's also hosting a dinner at the Rose Garden tonight. We'll take a look here at GOGL Google. With Google, we do have on watch here OpenAI having an event at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, that event, very likely, according to lots of speculation here online, to be about AI browsers or some kind of browser product here for OpenAI. So again, because Google's known for its browser products, maybe a bit of competition there for GOGL if OpenAI announces that product. Again, 1 p.m. Eastern is the time for that OpenAI stream. Now let's talk here about NFLX. They're reporting earnings after the bell. Revenue estimates here, $11.52 billion. EPS of $6.89. Check this out with Sean and myself on the market recap to get those earnings live. A couple other names reporting after the bell today, including TXN, ISRG, MAT, and COF. So lots of excitement today, and even more exciting earnings tomorrow, including TSLA. But now it's time here for Neil's lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
Thank you very much, Adara. I know a lot of people have already, and thank you everybody for answering questions for Alexander here. Losing 80% of your capital hurts. So I was going to talk about something else, but forget that. I'm going to address this for a quick second. I have a chart up, and I told this story when it happened last year, but suffice to say this. I have crossed my shutdown threshold once in the last 2 years. I have had one negative month once in the last 2 years. And to get a perspective of, you can be a new trader or you can have traded a long period of time, you're going to take hits. The hit that caused it, I have to explain a little bit about what this, you're like, what the heck? So I was trading this stock, I believe it was 1 week before this company was to close. It was a week and a half maybe before it was going to close at $32.50. In a week and a half, from the time I took, it was May 14th, this stock CBay was going to close at $32.50. And you know, I market make all the time on buyouts. I've done it for years. It's actually not probably, it is literally the single most consistent strategy on this trading floor over the last 15 years. It's the only thing which has been net positive pretty much 95% of months on this trading floor, and it's something that I have constantly done. So I'm always doing this. It's boring to most people, but it just makes me money. I was basically just shorting good prices to just make a little bit here or there, trying to make a couple $100. When a fill that I took in the pre-market then went through, like basically somebody hit the offer, filling me and maybe one other person, but it was mostly me, into the buyout price, but it took out the only resting order that was there in front of the buyout price. And because of the time it was in the pre-market, there then wasn't an offer. Like nobody was bothering to make a market because it's like in a week and a half, it's not worth more than $32.50. So nobody's at any of these prices. So essentially what happened next was our system read a gigantic spread on the stock that was artificial because it wasn't trading up there. But the way our system works is it says you are out of the money. If you had to hit the offer, this is where the offer is. And so my clock comes up and says, we have to flatten you if the bid, if the offer doesn't come down because you're past your shutdown. So one print happens and all of a sudden the spread opens up and my clock turns on and I'm sitting there staring down. There is nothing I can do about it. Clock runs out and I caused this candle. This candle was me being liquidated. Thankfully, I get out here and somebody else, like I think somebody caught a stray, and I apologize whoever it was that caught a stray on this because I caused that move. And then it opened up by the open. This is all at about like 7 something in the morning. I did the show like normal and all that stuff. But you know, when it opened up in the money. So an hour later, I had to look at that hit and realize that if I could have held it to the open, it just opened exactly where I would have expected, and the deal closed like normal. Those hits are going to happen. I can tell you exactly what I did the next day, which was first things first, go back to the basics, only do your A+ setups and put the most risk there. But then identify, and this is easy in my case, what the big hit was and why. And what I simply realized was, okay, on the long side of those, it's easier to hold, but I had to reduce the amount of size that I was taking on my pre-market, which is incredibly profitable for me, taking pre-market fills. I had to decrease the amount of size and hold for more to risk less to avoid the black swans. In your particular case, I heard Sharif give really good advice. And the advice I heard Sharif give was identify your best strategies or categorize all of your strategies and then make sure you're sticking to your A+ setups. The other side of that coin is when you're doing that, identify the trades that are costing you the most. And I don't just mean the ones that are losing the most, the things that draw down the most against you before they win. Because oftentimes if you lose 80% or you take a black swan hit, a massive one, it's about the risk exposure that you have on not just the losing trade, but also on the ones that win. This happens a lot of times to traders when they're on a winning streak, is you just see positive P&L, and you'll make, I'm gonna make up some numbers here. Let's say you make $500 one day, and $600 another day, and $300 another day, and you don't realize that 2 or 3 of those wins, you risked $1,000 to make 300. You risked $1,500 to make 600. Based on the manner in which you trade. So it's the cost sometimes of those wins that might be a little bit too high. So when you're categorizing your strategies overall, don't just look at the raw P&L. You've got to understand, and I'll try to use an example here for like Beyond Meat because I didn't fight the stock. But let's imagine that I just played Beyond Meat at VWAP and didn't have relatively tight stops and was holding it to the pre-market low. So I could have been long at 220, risking to $1.80, let's say, so 40 cents worth of risk. right? So let's say I'm all in 40 cents worth of risk, and then it comes back up and I'm playing it out into the high of the day. So I hold all of this to get all of it out between 30 and 50. So a net average of about 15 to 20 cents, and I could have risked 40. And if I average all the way in, then maybe I got an average price of 210 and I'm risking 30 cents to make 25. Right now, that's a V shape, and I'm like, whoa, big win, all that kind of stuff. But the amount that I risk to catch that, because it didn't happen to break the pre-market low, is way too high. So you've got to, it's not just about the A+ strategies and sticking to them. It's about understanding not just where your profits come from, but what the risk is sometimes on your winning trades and your biggest losing trades. Because the first thing you have to do is reduce that. You have to find a way to limit the size of your losses, but also the amount that you're risking and drawing down on even your winners. That's why I like to talk about sniper entries. Like, to me, like, there's a reason I trade a lot of different stocks, because I'm always looking for this. And sometimes I don't. But when I get something wrong, it's going to look like try it win, try it tight stop, try it flat, try it stop right there, try it win, try it stop, try it. Like, they're relatively tight. If you look at the entirety of the move, at no point I am against the grain and failing on Bitcoin. But there's nowhere you see where I'm holding it through a parabolic level or averaging into, like, look what I'm getting. Like, I'll take more as it's working. Lower, high. Lower, like, I'll average up as it's working for me. But as it's going up, I'm not loading back into it. I'm not loading back into it, and I'm observing my stops. That's what risk management is all about. I know I'm getting a little bit long-winded about it, but it's an incredibly important question, Jameson, and I'm glad that you were brave enough to actually put a super chat in there and ask about it, because most people, quite frankly, they hide their biggest losses. They don't want to show them, you know, and to get to the point where, you know, you're just sort of robotic and move on to the next, it's not easy. But it does come from a lot of discipline. It does come from a lot of hard work. And that means having a very good understanding of where your biggest losses and drawdowns come from, not just where your winning trades come. And be honest about that too. You know, like, if you look down at your daily P&L over the course of, let's just say, a month or a quarter, and you see that your biggest losing day is twice as big as any of your winning days, then I don't care what your winning percentage is. That's something you've got to examine for any trader out there, and we've all been there. So good luck to you, Jameson. Good luck to everybody out there trading. I'm glad, and honestly, I think it's amazing that you, you know, that you actually had the courage to bring that one up, and I hope that we've helped you work through it. Everyone has taken a black swan or like a massive loss at some point as a trader, and the people that tell you that they haven't are flat out lying, in my opinion. I've been doing this a long time. Nobody wins all the time. Nobody avoids those big hits. It's just about how you try to come back from them. I can tell you what works for me and hope that it can somehow help you in your trading journey. Good luck.
Yeah. Very well said, Neil. Thank you very much.
Very well said. I mean, obviously both of us have had our fair share of losses.
Oh, God,
yeah. It's just a couple. I told you guys I did the old screen ski, even though I didn't mean to. I did break one screen, but that was the most I've ever.
No, I never broke any screen.
I never. I
threw a lot of slippers. Never
like
really
that.
Broke anything though.
Yeah, that's good.
That would just aggravate me more, because then you'd be down in the account, and then I got to buy something new. You know,
ask me how I know.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is, though, I didn't even mean to. Like, I
don't mean to laugh.
No, obviously. I didn't even mean to. I threw my my corded headphones because I was doing an earnings trade.
Okay.
And I'm like, this a POS, and boom, throw it, and then the one earbud hit the corner of the screen, and I'm like, oh, I could have operated with it, but I'm like, I can't live with that. So it's like a $500 loss day turns into $700 because you have to go out and buy a new screen. So it's just like, yeah, I won't be doing that again. But yeah, in all seriousness, guys, back into these markets. That was years ago.
They're calling you Joey Broke Screen.
Joey Broke Screen. Yeah, there you go. It's not they.
It's funny.
It's one person. Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a funny.
I mean, no. Hey, what do you mean? I'm human too. At the end of the day, I'm not ashamed of it whatsoever. I know a couple people who just used to keyboards like it was their day job. All right, guys. As for Tesla, this was a really nice second leg higher. We got the initial leg here on the 5-minute. You can see that displayed, but it comes back into our entries. That's the one thing about averaging up. So there's two different things that I'm really starting to notice when I'm building into positions. Averaging up, first in, first out, right? So as we're slowly starting to piece it out, that average is going to continue to climb. If you add in correctly to the lower end, then sure enough, when you're taking that first partial out, the higher price comes out, and then your average actually drops, which sometimes can be very, very convenient, but obviously you need the thesis to work. But as for what Tesla's doing on the daily, I'm looking at this over here. We might get an additional breakout. Let's pull up this name from a daily perspective and see what we got going on. Yeah, I like our chances. This is a nice curl up back over, consolidation around the highs, and then now you have this yesterday's candle opening up above this range here. So watch out, anything can happen. We have Netflix after the bell. Tesla's this week, is it not? Yeah, is put up on Thursday. No, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday after the bell there, guys. So we got IBM and Tesla after the bell. Kinder Morgan, QuantumScape as well. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, boy.
And then obviously tonight we got Netflix, TXN. I'll be looking at that one. I think it's going to be, and then Intuitive as well. So, I mean, a pretty good list if you ask me. So let's see how those comes in. Netflix, I think, is going to hit it out of the park. All
right, man. Yeah, I see Rainey Bovin. I've got that on the top chart. Rainey breaking out into 312. What a move. Holdover from yesterday. Keep your eye out on this one. It's been a multi-day runner. Started breaking out on the 17th. It had been basically a penny stock at 50 cents until about Friday. It ran Friday. It had an okay day yesterday. I mean, it made new highs and it made new lows. Good look. Kind of similar look today. We get a prolonged bull flag where we generally use the volume weighted average price as that level of support. It looks like as if, though, there is some selling coming in at around $3, despite the fact that it's a 312 high. So RANI, I like the move back into 90s if it does lose 3. If it holds 3, obviously that's the level off which I would chart and base my entries and exits. But 290, that's the breakout level for me. Multiple topping tail candles through 290. None of them actually closed above that level, and then we double topped again on a wick basis at 290 before the eventual breakout on volume. This candle here that closed at 1210 has 3.3 million shares, so plenty of volume coming in locally and on the day here for RANI. And as I mentioned, it is a multi-day runner, so it kind of lessens a little bit from the saying that I always say, it's around for a good time, not a long time. Some of them, they do break those rules, so keep your eye out on this one. Shout out to the OG Bovin for pointing it out. Definitely gonna look to execute on this one if it's warranted. Separately here, we're still holding BYND, despite the fact that it's got lower highs, is generally holding the 10. I'm looking for a break of structure and another candle to make a new high on a 5-minute basis. We're not getting that, and we haven't gotten that since the 1150 candle on the 5. So I'm watching intently here, looking for a move back up, going to the big desk.
Here, I mentioned this in the chat and also on our headlines here, what had happened during Neil's lesson of the day, but a couple American names here, or US listed names, are actually moving on these European earnings. Nike is one of them. NKE, as you can see here, got a pretty decent spike on the most recent 15-minute candle. Adidas with their earnings, saying that they have improved profitability outlook. Then we also had earnings here from L'Oreal, which led to a move here in Estee Lauder. As you can see, dropped to the downside with volume after those earnings. So again, EL and Nike on watch here, with L'Oreal and Adidas earnings respectively. Back to you.
Gorev, do you have anything else there? Are you rocking and rolling? Okay, so I mean, there goes all the names, like AMD, right back towards the opening price here, roughly. We're not too far off of it. 240.58 is where we open up at, and then we're at 239.86, so only about 60 cents away from that opening price. NVDA, not too far off it as well, too, only a couple pennies, so we can't complain about that whatsoever. Let's go over some of the top volume names, and then we'll go through the options chain as well, too, and see what we got going on. Ford, bang, not too bad of a session on today. And then whoever this is, Minavera Neuroscience, this is what these biotechs do, Sharif. I mean, $7 all the way up to $12. That's 76% in one day. From the pre-market, $2 all the way up to $12.44. That's 63% in one session. So absolutely phenomenal there in NERV. That's the tough thing about these biotechs, is that you have to be cautious. I heard that well in my ear. Adair, what do you got for us?
Just be aware here, guys. The Associated Press stream for Trump's White House Rose Garden lunch has begun. YMCA is playing. I will keep you posted if there's any news or any events worth noting. The camera angle just changed, so we're now at a different angle. But again, if and when I see Trump, I'll certainly keep you guys posted. If he says anything of note, I'll keep you guys posted. This is his only event today during market hours. Right at 4 p.m., he'll be participating in a Diwali celebration. But again, this Rose Garden event, Trump's only event during market hours today, guys. I'll keep you all posted, and back to you.
Go ahead.
Well, Rainey's just breaking out right now. 328. It's up 45%. It's all gas, no brakes. There's 332. There's the area high, and the volume is really picking up now on Rainey, both to the upside and the downside. So keep your eye out on this one. Good move for Rainey. And now, for some exciting news out of Canada for sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada, which is Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leveraged ETFs, has just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs offering the 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60 semiconductors and U.S. Treasuries. And if you want even better, they got better. They're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. Plus, the U.S. focused strategies use currency hedging, offering the potential for pure performance and exposure. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. Shout out to the good folks there. All right, so that's what I'm looking at right now. Keeping an eye on RANI over here, looking for a pullback into 3. So we got an ugly topping tail candle, 314 right now showing up, despite the fact that we've got a high of 332. Let's see if we can get something in on this one, but I got to digress for a second because BYND just broke structure and looks like it's taking out levels again. The volume's picking up aggressively on BYND. I'm waiting at 40s for the next profit taker on that one. Looking ultimately for a test of the $0.50. So I'm packing my patience on that, but I have to execute something here on RANI. It's holding structure quite well, Joey. It was a $3 breakout. I'm looking for the 290 though. I don't think that's going to come in, at least not now. So I may have to get in a little bit earlier on this one. Just not sure exactly how to do that.
All right, good stuff, man. My knee's killing me for some reason. Oh, because I did leg extension.
You did leggies yesterday.
Yeah, but my knee, man. It's killing me right now for some reason. All right, guys, aside from that, let's go through our scan and take a look. I obviously want to look at what we got going on so we can see if it's cooking up there on the go. But nice indecision print off of those lows. There was GLD. I think I know why, because the body is a little bit more than 30% of the value of the candle wick. So that's why it wouldn't pick that up there, considering with the exception of these two names, where approximately the body is less than 30% of the value of that specific candle. Google, the exact same thing. So yeah, again, a little bit less than 30% there. What's the quantum space been up to on today's session? Guys, I'm not in anything right now. I'm posted up at Google, but if it comes back down to 246, personally, I don't even really like it down there. We traded AMD, Google, IBIT, and Tesla, all positive on today's session. So phenomenal stuff. What is our good friend Amazon been up to? Hopefully it's still not wide. I mean, by all means, 223. Wow. Yeah, let's go. Amazon. If anybody's involved in that, I hope you're holding on to that. The trend has broken. We talked about it from a daily standpoint. You're getting that bounce exactly what we're looking for off of these levels, 211, bang, 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 and now climbing up here. If we run into this downtrend, watch out for a little bit of resistance. But if the momentum is sustained, then I think you have a good opportunity to crack it. So what is that going to put us around 224? Let's take a look at our options chain to see if we have any specific levels at 225. This is the contract that I just closed, 215s. I bought them for, I think, oh, you can actually see it right here. Bang. All right, so you know we don't mess around here, Sharif. Whatsoever, we don't mess around. I don't even see, okay, that's the sell. So yeah, $21.85. My average was at like $19. That was just the contract. And this was me this morning from 213. My average price just buying. So $21.85 limit sell. No, that was cancel. So yeah, that's correct. And then those are those other transactions there. But aside from that, Amazon 215, $23.95. That's what that's going to be worth. Let's go over to this week's expiration cycle to see if there's anything at 225 that we need to be alarmed about. 33,600, 61,000 contracts traded. So watch out for a little rejection at 225. But if it wants to squeeze, by all means, let it and don't stand in front of it. Now, as for Bitcoin, we're starting to climb higher there, Sharif. Where's that open interest today? Could we go back up to, by the end of the week?
Yes, sir.
$68 on IBIT with 21,800 contracts at that specific strike price. I like our chances. That can act as a potential magnet and call wall and a little bit of a rejection, and then you wait for that rollover to see if that increment has been lifted. Wow, 75.
What happened, Joe?
October 31st with the expiration, with the October 31st expiration at 75, Sharif, that would put IBIT at a new all-time high there. 50,900. What is the options market telling us? I like it. I don't know. We have to be patient and wait and see. But 62,000 at 70.
There goes NERV. We got 69s, baby. I mean, I didn't even plan that. That's just a happy coincidence. And we just got the beak wet there in the high teens. Looking for continuation here on NERV. This one is, look, it's up 300%, man. It's putting in higher lows and higher highs. It's not without its problems. It's being met with clear areas of resistance. I'm talking about this 1120. It's no surprise that it's holding up here. We saw it hold up there right to start the show, 1115, basically from 11 till around 1120. It had trouble with yes, the same, its namesake, $11.20 at 11:20 a.m. So looking for continuation. Current bar high, allow me to check, is 11:20. I'm not making that up. That is real. There we go. Another rejection at 11:20. I'm looking for more here. Let's go ahead and watch. There it goes, Joseph, into the high. It takes out all my orders into basically that price spiked from 11:20. Wow, bro. Wow. This is crazy. Do you see the pop and the drop? That's insane.
Wow.
Insanity.
That is criminal.
Insanity. That's the kind of insanity that you get on these. Look at that. It popped into 1220 and dropped into 980 in a quarter second. I mean, I don't know what the hell else to do with this one. How am I supposed to lock in profits aggressively? Thank God I had some resting orders there, and that's why I always say throw in your resting orders. That's exactly why. Exactly why. I mean, this is a perfect case. I'm going to go back and record this and show it to people because that's...
Yeah, you got to make a YouTube short on that, man.
Dude, that was insane.
That was crazy.
That was crazy, Joey. It popped up into 1220. I should have had more beak wetters waiting there. I just didn't think it was going to do that. But yeah, straight to jail, says chase the packs.
We got a little thing there. You tapped in?
No, I got to concentrate for a second. Okay. So give me a second, Assassino, because I have to go to BYND because this one is also breaking out right into the highs. We added into BYND again, and there it is, breaking trend, looking for more. Give me a second over here, Assassino, and now I'm listing. What do we got?
All right,
Which
guys.
one we got? All right, go ahead.
What do we got there?
All right.
Bang. For too long, trading meant risking your own money, Sharif, or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sideline. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the market. With its limited risk trading model, traders are used funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get your 10% off your first evaluation.
There we go. Oh, baby.
You know what someone said in there? Actually, I'm not even going to say it. But I was going to say someone said something in the chat that I was like, yeah, you noticed that as well, too? Cool, good stuff. No, he's saying my hair, the head top getting thicker.
Hey, there you go, sir.
You know there you go. You know what I noticed on my arms? Yes, I feel like it is as well, too. So
what are you feeling on your arms, Joey?
The hair growth, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I noticed it, I think.
That's not where you want it, though, right?
No, well, yeah, I mean.
I know you want more arm hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Joey, that's what the girls like these days. They're looking for men with nice arm hair.
my channel my inner Austin Powers.
So they tell me I'm making stuff up as I go, Katina, man. Like Katina's like, where are you hearing this, brother? No, okay, we exaggerate for effect, obviously, guys. All right, he's coming in hot.
No. I was gonna say, Joe, that's that spidey sense. Remember, sometimes you hear me talking, it's like you get that tingly feeling like something's going on, or that there's like a hot trade that's about to set up, or there's a move you can't believe. Like if you were basically short Google when that dropped on that OpenAI thing. But yeah, that's a great feeling to have. But anyways. Yeah, so that's good to know, Sharif, that women are looking for arm hair. So I think I got that.
You know what?
I think I got that.
Man, I didn't believe it when I first heard it. I had to act double took.
Yeah.
But it was confirmed to me, Katina, man. So that's
you should see my chest.
It's been confirmed.
I guess
It's been confirmed.
Been confirmed. Okay. All right. Back over to the Bash Brothers.
we're having a good time, guys. How was the gym, brother? Katina, man. How was the?
I'm not going yet because I have 2 weeks is almost up for my.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. He's almost the eye.
The eye?
Stuff. Yeah.
No, come on, man. I
don't think you can get.
Is it real?
2 weeks. They don't want like sweat and all that.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured. It was probably something to do with sweat. There we go on BYND. We take out all the orders again, man. BYND's got the juice, Joey, and it's gonna halt. Oh no, 261 area high. We're doing it on NERV. We're doing it on BYND. And for the idiot in the chat that thought I got burned on NERV, you're a moron. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I should probably not. Should not probably say that to him, Joey.
Who said that there?
I don't know. He's like talking about that I got burned on. I'm unprofitable on it, man.
Look at it go.
There we go. Here we go again on BYND, Joe. 262 high, 76%. We're looking for more, baby. We're gonna keep an eye on this one. Let's see how much juice BYND has. 76% again. What were we up yesterday? Like 100 some odd percent yesterday? What is the options change, Joey?
The craziness. I was gonna see if Assassino could do a picture-in-picture.
We have to go to Adara.
Gotta go to Adara.
I want to let you guys know here, Beyond Meat on Watch, Barron's just releasing an article here saying, is Beyond Meat the next meme stock? I also want to let you guys know here, U.S. President Donald Trump, after a brief musical interlude, has officially been introduced and is now making comments here at the White House Rose Garden lunch. If there's anything market related that he says, I'll let you guys know, but there is a speech here, so the potential of something being said is pretty high. Back to you.
Steven's eating steak tonight, boys. All right. I'm sure Bob's in BYND as well, man. Now, I was telling Brendo in the morning, I'm like, man, we saw what, retail, and I'm assuming, the organized short squeeze did to Open Door.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not even going as far back, obviously, as AMC and GME and, costs and all the other memes that we saw in 22. I'm talking about locally. Open Door ran. It continued to run every day. Yeah. We're going to see where BYD ends up. It's really not the fundamental trade that we need to concern ourselves with. It's really the short squeeze and whether people are getting squeezed out of the position and what the short interest remains. Obviously, short interest is kind of dated. We get the update every 14 days, so we won't really know for a little bit. But you can tell by the price action, especially where people were getting caught.
The way you traded that is really nice.
Today?
Yeah. I mean, just that complete curl over.
I got caught once, Joey. Can I make the point over here?
Zoom in on that.
Yeah, I want to bring it in. It was this candle.
Zoom in on your
it was this,
trade.
Jesus Christ. It was this candle that caught me in trouble, Joe, on BYND, because it was a candle of indecision that lost the 10. Look at how clean the 10 was there. It loses it right away. Got me back in because it ended up being a doji and it retraced above the 10. So I'm like, no. This is not going to be the end of the trade. So we ended up punching back into that, this specific one right here.
I hear you.
All right, something's going on at the desk.
DVLT on watch. DataVault AI pushing higher. Paradigm calling this one a long idea. This again got maybe a Sharif type of stock here. It is a smaller cap name. Nice push to the upside. Paradigm calling this one the perfect all-in-one speculation, saying they're recommending this, quote, tiny micro cap that has its tentacles in so many big arenas. So again, bit of a speculative long idea here from Paradigm. Back to you, DVLT.
Yeah, that's a big-time move right there, Dara. Thank you for that, up 7% now from 228, but the volume most definitely stepping in.
Did you hear that laugh? That sounded like your laugh.
Yeah,
there
what was
from Randy.
Who did that?
On the other side.
Randy?
Did you hear that?
No, I did.
That was fun. It was a lot like that, dude.
Shout out to that one there.
Good luck.
But yeah, as for the options activity, look at AMD go. Oh my days. That is absolutely insane. AMD, and we were right in off of those lows as well too, guys. So bang, bang, and then we take it out at VWAP, and then you get a big time move. So I can't even say you got the meat of the move, but an absolute monstrous recovery in AMD. That's interesting. I did not think that was going to be the case today. We're now north of the opening price of that 935-minute candle. So absolutely crazy stuff. The market rebounding, crypto still hard. We got Bitcoin hovering around 6460. That's going to be IBIT via IBIT. We got Ethereum ETH up to 3107. Wow, surprising. Super surprised on that. Let's actually take a look at the underlyings here from a daily perspective to see what we got cooking up and just how they look.
Okay.
This might, Sharif, we were talking about it on multiple occasions. There's the go. Haha. BTC, we don't want all, yeah, we'll go BTC US dollar. We're not going to pick anything up along those lines. That's completely fine.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So let's get over to the daily there, guys, and see what we got cooking up. This is what I'm talking about. This might be the prime candle. What a bounce. Okay, again, I'm happy that we executed on Amazon, but this is a pretty good opportunity as well too. You play the break of this daily candle. Even if you started to accumulate some, I was looking at it on Monday and over the weekend, and I'm like, no. And sure enough, this might be the run where, okay, we've absorbed enough south of this support level. Now we go and test that previous all-time high around 127,000, 126,000. I like our chances on Bitcoin, especially after today's session, Sharif. Wait for an additional pullback. That might give us a good opportunity to get involved before we get to that break.
Well said, sound stuff, Joey. There goes BYND again into another high of day, 268 as the day high. We got 33s on. We're now talking about 81%. It feels like we may be destined today to get close to that $3 level in the same way that we were talking about 2 yesterday, right? So it's not beyond the realm of possibility. Keep your eye out on this one. Separately, I want to mention this DVLT one continues to go into 269, 270, 11% and going here. It's got support at the break-even level. That's 242, but that's like 32 pennies away from where we're trading. How do we get in? Let's flip to the 1. Let's see exactly where prior bar low is. Prior bar low, 263. So if you're riding trend, look to get out at prior bar low. Otherwise, the 10 EMA on the 1 is the other area that I'm looking at, 253. Let's see what that one does. We're going to the desk.
Yeah, we have Trump talking here about tariffs, saying tariffs equals national security, but more specifically, he actually talked about China, just now saying that the U.S. is going to be doing well in the China negotiation, and that apparently China wants to discuss tariffs. He again reiterated he will be speaking to President Xi of China in 2 weeks in South Korea. So that meeting's still happening. Again, keep an eye maybe on, here's the Nasdaq, you can keep an eye maybe on FXI, KWEB, as Trump discusses China. Back to you.
I'm looking again at Rani, okay? So we had a mixed bag here with Rani. We got a couple of moves up, and then we ended up getting stopped out because it broke 3. It had my stop at 3. But it looks like it may use 3 as generally that support level. So what I'm going to wait for, and I don't mind waiting on RANI, I'm going to wait for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Currently, we still have lower high, lower high, lower high, and another lower high. Let's see if this current candle, the candle on the 5, that the 1235 candle can make a prior or can make a high above the 1230 candle. It'll have to get above 307 to do that. So what I'm talking about is just a strategy, a very simple strategy that I use about making the first, about getting in after a downtrend on the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. It'll have to close that way. Now, it doesn't have to be this one. It can be the subsequent one. So I'm looking at the high of the 1230 candle and basing my entry on the 1235 candle. So we'll have to get, as I said, above 307. So 308 would be my entry. But if the 1235 candle also closes red below the 1230 candle, then the 1240 candle will have to make a new high above the 1235 candle. I hope I didn't lose anybody there. So generally what I'm talking about is the first 5-minute candle will make a new high. Wow. That's all I'm looking for there on RANI, but I can see it defending 3. There are buyers stepping in on RANI on 3, and you can see that more acutely when you look at the 1 as opposed to the 5, because you'll see the umpteen amount of candles that are finding support at that $3 level. So that's what I'm looking at there. Bovin's also talking about NUAT. Let me take a gander at that one. I haven't even Seen that. Yep. Oh, then now I'm seeing it on the scanner. Okay, shut it above it. NUAT. What? NUAT. Isn't that what I typed? It's NAUT, Bovin. Yeah, I do that all the time. NAUT. Same crap. 5 minutes. Looking good, Bovin. What's the volume on this monster here? 1.4 million shares. Not too bad, Bovin. Not too bad. It's getting there. Who am I going to take off here? IVD. I don't even know who to take off, man. VSEE. We're going to take that one off for now. NAUT. We're going to throw that one on because it's breaking out. It's taking out highs right now, but it's still a little bit light on vol. Still a bit light on vol. I don't mind getting in. We'll just let this one pick up a little bit. Yeah, look. Now it's smashing about 100,000 shares per 5-minute candles. 36%. Shut it to Bovin. I'm going to keep my eye on this one. I don't have to be quick to execute on that. Still keeping my eye on NUAI. NUAI, calm down, Sharif. BYND, looking for this one to continue. It is a 269er high now as we weasel in to that $0.75 area, packing the patience. And then, yeah, I've said very little about my Clover trade because it's been doing kind of nothing for the last little while. 335 high. I've got 23s on, so I don't need to wet the beak at the moment. Packing my patience. Ozan, can you, Katina, to use all his buying power to buy BA? Thanks and best regards. All right, Katina, man, we're going to need you to punch in, brother. He's already doing it for you. Shout out to Ozan. Yeah, Ozan's got a lot of requests. You notice that. He's always telling me to get Katina to punch in. Ram's ignoring him.
Can I stay at your place and all these things?
Yeah, I know. But to be fair, he did offer us his place at Dallas. And I got to tell you, I plan on seeing Ozan when I go down there for the Cowboys game eventually.
Exercise that option there.
Yeah, but it's been a minute. There goes BYND again, guys. 273. The breakout is on. It feels like we are headed to $3 now. There's 274, Joey. The shorts are getting squeezed. We're up 85, 86%. We're looking for more. Packing the patience. Don't need to be getting out right now. I think we've got a little bit more to go, John.
Absolutely, man. AMD is nuts off of that 234 low up to 240 once again. Bitcoin putting in a little bit of a topping signal, but I think this is going to be such a difficult name to short considering the move that we were just previously on. But it's displaying itself here, guys, in full effect. Look, there it is. Every time I post up at the lower end of the range, we just don't get that grab, and then boom, there it is. Google continuing to climb a little bit higher, so some really good stuff there in Google and a big time rebound. But as for the IBIT trade, look at that volume start to stick out. Let's see how this candle prints. Our risk profile most definitely defined. If we get in now, we only have to risk about 25 cents, a little bit more room. We want to give it a little bit more room, but boy, oh boy, do I ever want to get involved on some Google once again. We missed the meat of it for sure, guys. We got that little move higher, it stopped out break even. And this is when I accidentally flipped short. I meant to post up down here, so I probably wouldn't even have got that fill. But there it is, a big time recovery. At one point, it was down 4%. Now we're only down 2 3/4. So a nice recovery there on goggles. All right, is it printing? There it is. That's a pretty big indecision candle, if you ask me. We'll be patient on this one. Wait for that retest of the highs. But if it also breaks down with some momentum and volume, we want to be participating in that. We'll just get our feet wet in it and not go heavy whatsoever. And then we'll buy a little bit more if it continues to climb. But I don't want to miss the train like we have on Google. So small size on IBIT. We'll go about 3/4 of our, about 2. Yeah, I think maybe we'll go half of what we want, a little bit more than that. And then if it starts to work in our favor, then we can most definitely add. And as long as we don't break 64.75, Sharif, we're cooking up a storm here. We might add a little bit more. IBIT instantly a couple pennies in them are not even anymore. But I mean, not too bad of a break. You punch through that the support level right here at 64.57s, and then we take a couple pennies to the downside just like that. It's a fact, Jack. Bang, bang, bang. So that's starting to work out. We might have to get that animation. Shout out to Mike P. Derider, Surfboard P. We'll spend that money as IBIT is continuing to go a little bit lower. Great signal on IBIT, maybe a little bit heavier. But the thing is, though, do you want to be shorting such an aggressive asset like this right now and going aggressive? The answer to me is no, because you are counter trending, and that can get a little bit worrisome and put a little bit more stress on yourself than what you necessarily need, but not looking too bad so far, Sharif.
All right, Joey, you know I've been telling you about Bloom Energy for a hot minute, right? I'm constantly looking at what BE is doing, annoyed that I haven't been involved. Assassino, let's show him the daily here on Bloom Energy. So, Joey, look, here's what I like. I don't want to get your opinion on this. Take a look at what we did over here on that big pullback. See where we held up? The yellow line. That's a 20 exponential.
You can zoom in on that candle for me, my guy.
I know you like these candles. I know for a fact you like that candle right there. That's a doji candle, an indecision candle, a reversal candle. All right? Here's what I'm seeing, Joe. You know where that 20 is right now that we held up at initially?
Yes, where's it at?
It's at $95, Joe. That's where the 20 is. But I also want you to look at this resistance level right here, Joe.
Ooh,
the price action resistance.
Off that.
Look, so I think I'm going to punch in Bloom Energy into the swing at $95. And here's what I'm going to do, Joe. I'm going to give it to 90. We're going to risk $5 for a swing. Because look, the fact of the matter is, these names, these hydrogen fuel cell names, sort of were looked at, you know, as possible EV substitutes. They're completely diverging away from that now. It's to power these data centers. And locally, because
Plug Power was hot garbage, bro.
Plug Power just doesn't have the juice that BE does. It looks like BE is a legitimate company, whereas Plug, I don't really know. I tried to look at Plug because I knew there would be more beta for Plug. It's a $3, $4 name. I was thinking maybe we hit 12, 15, maybe 20. But you know what? I think there's something to be said about punching into the good names. And I think that's
definitely the right idea, man. If it's working, then why would you try to go and pick something that may be lagging or anything along those lines?
So that's what I'm thinking, Joe. One that's working. Quite honest with you, dude. I think I'm going to punch into BE. I know it's up a ton, but you know, who knows where this one could go. And I'll risk $5 on a swing. I'm absolutely fine with that. So I just wanted to mention that because I think I'm going to be punching into that pretty soon. Cut the crap segment starts.
Yeah, just cut it. Just
cut it.
BS.
All right, guys. BYND coming down here. So 280 high. It's in the mid 60s. Look, the refresh area for me is the 10 EMA, and that's showing me 252. So look, it comes into 250s. We might be getting a little bit more over here as I'm not the only one watching this, so I'm assuming some other people are going to front run this one as well. So BYND, certainly in focus for me, looking for more on it. But let's get to as well as RANI. I talked about this one. First 5-minute candle to make a new high. Well, we just got one on a wick bit. We're going to get in here, Joey, and we're going to give it to local area lows. Rainey's a bamboozler, though, man. We're gonna have to be careful with RANI. But I'm gonna get in here. It's a multi-day runner, as we've spoken about, so it doesn't feel like it has, you know, that good time, long time thing that we always talk about. Where are we in? We're in at 5s, Joey. Current bar low. We're gonna have to give it to prior bar low. Prior bar low goes to 93, so we get out at 92s. Simple as that. Well, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna look to run into 11s. So that's gonna be the first area we post at. Let's see how this one ends up doing. I don't really have too much in the way of expectations right now for RANI. It seems to be kind of consolidative above 3. It can hold 3. I think that we could get a possible move up, maybe test those highs at 332. We'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about some others over here. We've been talking about NERV to no end. It's now below 10. It seems to be finding support at, you know, 970s, 980s. We'll keep an eye out there. NAUT, the one that Brother brought us, dropping back down off the highs, trying to hold VWAP at a $134, high at day 157. But I'm going to move back here to the other one that I had, which was VSEE, because that one was on the verge of breaking out. So we're going to put that one back. Yeah, that one's got a bit of a better chart pattern personally than the other one. So we'll keep tabs on that. And then Clover is the other one that we've got on. We got 23s. It's showing me 35s right now. Nothing to do there. And then DVLT, 270, coming back into 250s. 2-bar pullback. This current green candle on DVLT has a higher low, but also really a lower high. Unsure about how to execute, if I'm going to execute at all. It's not up that much, man. A little bit less than 6%. So we'll see if this one can catch a bid. If it can, we'll participate. Otherwise, nothing for me to do here, Joey.
All right, beautiful stuff, man. I like the swing trade talk. We have to rock some more of that there. Because, you know, I'm big on that stuff. So,
okay,
I mean, there it is. Bang, IBIT. Let's see if we can get that breakthrough. 64.40. But first, I posted up a little bit lower on Google at 248 just in case. But it's holding VWAP really, really well there, guys. So keep an eye out on that one. Waiting for a potential liquidity grab before we climb higher, but it doesn't seem to need that. No Loon, what's up? Adara, talk to us.
A Nike sympathy play. Both reported earnings here in Europe. Now we have commentary coming through from L'Oreal's CEO saying that China has stabilized and consumers are, quote, slightly more confident. So just be aware, if you're trading Estee Lauder or Nike, there could potentially be some commentary coming from the CEOs of the companies that they're trading in sympathy with. Back to you.
Pardon me.
Okay, no
Man's always making me chuckle.
Okay, I got to read this stuff out.
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, so, okay, it starts off with No Loon saying, Joey. All right. And then he says, Joseph Options. I say, what's up, man? And he goes, you're either with me or against me.
Who's he, George Bush?
You better choose.
Take it easy there, George.
All right. All right.
Fool me once.
I want none of that smoke, yeah.
You're not going to fool me again.
Yeah, fool me once. Was that the day they threw their shoe at him? No, it was a different day.
He got the shoe thrown at him in Iraq.
Oh,
I like how like the president of Iraq was trying to block it for him, Nouri al-Maliki. It's like, Nouri, bro, he can block it on his own. You don't need him in the paint.
I love that.
Guarding
Such a clean move, too.
Yeah. But like he started smiling when he was getting the shoe thrown. Do you know, like it's highly, highly disrespectful in any culture, I'm sure, to throw shoes at someone, but just in Middle East, it's next level disrespectful.
What is that? What would you correlate? I mean, we don't want to correlate that with anything, but
I don't know what the
Google's ready to go. Yeah, it is smooth. Absolutely, man. There's been some absolute phenomenal trades. It's been a banger of a Tuesday without any form of questioning. We have Bitcoin climbing higher. The long term's loving that. $3, a little bit more than that on the day, Sharif. We like that one there. Ethereum, the long term's liking that as well too. And then now, as for the swing account, I'm all out of Amazon. Took that move there, and then now we're short some IBIT. I'm not expecting the biggest move here right now, Sharif, to be honest with you, because it is really, really strong. So you're going to get those shallow pullbacks, but we'll hold on to it. Did
you hear about my little spiel on crypto in the morning with Brendo at the big desk?
No, I was
Your friend Elon was moving around coins yesterday, and that spooked the market.
Oh,
really? It was two dormant wallets. Well, it was SpaceX, not Elon, to be fair. He moved around about, I think, a little bit less than 2,500 coins. From one wallet to the other, and the market was like
Bitcoin
panicking. Yeah, and because they thought he was selling. It was more accounting than anything else, Joey. We'll get to it obviously on the news, which we're about to start momentarily there. So. All right, I want to just update my positions. Clover Health is doing well, man. There it goes, back into the high day, 336. I'm posting up at 39. CLOV is a stair-step, higher highs and higher lows. You're not getting volatility all that much from this name. That doesn't mean it won't come. Just for the moment, it's not aggressive in the price movement at all, to be honest with you. It's almost got 14 million shares traded, and there's another high of day, 337 on Clover Health. Let's pack our patience and keep an eye on there. BYND, I made a mistake on. I should have been adding here. I wasn't alive to that 260 hold. I was waiting more for the 50s. It held up generally at 60s, and here we go again, showing 70s. It's got an 80 high, but it's not at the high of the day quite yet. Zigging and zagging with that high 60s, low 70s area right now. BYND up 83%. Multi-day runner, guys. Again, no real news. There is news today for BYND. I think they're gonna like go into Walmart or something like that. You thank you, Katina, man. It's not of interest to me whatsoever. I don't think it's really gonna move the needle for a lot of people because if they didn't like it, you know, at wherever they were selling it before, why would they really like it at Walmart? But this is the headline right here. Beyond Meat expands distribution at Walmart. You guys can do the research there if you'd like, but that was the headline. We were headline list, though, for the last couple of days on this name. So that's what we're keeping an eye out on. So we're in BYND, excuse me. We're in CLOV, and now we're in RANI. And this trade is undecided at the moment. It's generally holding 3, but I'm seeing topping tail candles into 310. So I feel like the shorts are kind of using that 10 penny level or high single digit level to kind of get in short. That's the bad side. What's the good side? Well, we're still holding 3, and we're still holding the 10 EMA. My out is at prior area low. That's this area right here. I gotta turn on the you know when you hit control and it does the circle thing for you? I gotta turn that on.
Oh, you don't have that?
Well, because I'm in the other profile and it's it didn't really transfer anything over. So I have to do that in a second. Why are people saying circle? Circle's pumping. Everybody's yelling about circle. Let's have a look at CRCL. Is there any stablecoin stuff going on? What is going on here? 5 minutes. Okay, yeah, we got a bit of a move. To be fair on Circle, we were hugging VWAP, doing nothing at 127 3/4, and then we rocketed up 131, excuse me, 19. That's the high of the day right now. Let's take a gander to see what the blotter is bringing us here in terms of any news on Circle. Looking. Circle internet groups increased call volume. Goldman downgraded. No, that's nothing to do with that. No, I'm just getting a price spike up notification. Go ahead, Joey.
Sorry, Sharif.
Go ahead, Joey.
Bang, 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 bang. Look at that ad there on IBIT to the downside. A nice little move. Aggressive selling starting to kick in a little bit as Bitcoin is coming back in, guys. A nice ad. Of course, you want to get at the top end of the range, but we're not going to complain about that, so we get into full size. Oh man. We'll take a little bit off there. Maybe even a little bit more just because.
Your boy's at 113.3 now.
Yeah, brother, I think
I know we're going to go down, but we're at least up a little bit.
No, I wasn't going to say it. I think this might be the move. I've seen this before.
Move?
I think this might be it.
All right.
I don't know if we go anything. I don't know if we go south of 107 or I should say probably 103. Bang, there it goes. I don't think we go south of 103 for some time there, Sharif. This might be the, I'm hoping the 150. That's what we want to see is the 150 move. Bang, there it is, rocking and rolling on IBIT, just on the exact same signal. Tesla selling aggressively. The market selling aggressively here, Sharif, coming back in. NVDA, but Amazon holding up strong like bull because it is definitely bullish today. And then Ether starting to come in a little bit as well, too. I'm curious to see if anything came into the overall market because volume is drastically starting to kick in. Let's take a look at this. I got this position on, but I'll cater to you guys first because that's what really matters. All right, so there it is, bang. You can see that volume really kick in here in the overall market. Bitcoin starting to sell a little bit as well too. So at what point are we at overextension? Maybe 63.76. We'll hold on to exactly half. We're just at half of what we had of the original size. So we'll hold off and just in case we get some more downside, but if it comes back to my break even, best believe we're going to get out. But there goes the market right back to VWAP Street.
Joey, I got the nod from Brendo
for
the costumes. Let the craziness begin.
You never even told me what the costume.
Well, I just got. Well, we haven't decided, but we had the approval. Yeah,
because to wear the costume.
We'll buy them and we bill, right? So we get the.
Oh yeah.
So I think we should do something funny. Something business related.
Business
we don't
related?
have to, or market related, not business related. Sorry, market related, like a duo or a tandem, maybe like co-CEOs.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking.
What's a good
spitballing here.
Oh,
I don't know,
God.
man.
Why do I keep
I don't know.
doing that?
I want to see what the chat has to say about some good ideas. I'll let you trade because it looks like you're focused right now, and that we can talk about it some other time.
I don't know what I just did.
What'd you do?
I just added when I didn't want to. I wanted to take it off.
Who's Terrence and Phillip, James Dell?
You don't know who Terrence and Phillip
are? No, I don't.
Oh, man.
Self-par? I don't know. Katita, man, I always set myself up for failure with this kind of stuff because I really never really know. But no, man, James, you're an OG, James, so that's cool. But we want it to be more market related, like just so that it kind of fits with the theme of the show, of course. All right, guys, give me some good ideas. Put my face mask on, Jose. I don't even know what you look like, bro. Blame Canada, be stepbrothers. What's happening here? What else you guys got? Your favorite WWE wrestler, says Artemis. I wouldn't mind that. But the Winklevoss twins, I don't know how we would pull that off, though. We would have to get, stilts. And I don't know, and I'd have to, I don't even want to say it on here so we don't get canceled. But I have to obviously do some painting. Because I'm really not that color. All right, give me some good ideas.
What is a good
Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett.
Ooh,
that's actually not a bad one, bro.
Yeah,
that's not a bad one. We could put a bold cap on. You know what I mean? Like
Berkshire.
Age ourselves. That's pretty cool.
Crypto crap.
I think that would probably be hard to do.
It would be very hard.
Yeah, I know. Something
Maybe
a little bit
Ram
easier.
do the makeup.
Ram Ram's gonna do the makeup?
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
right.
birthday.
You got Ram Ram off that desk. I'll give you $10. A bear and a bull.
That's
not
good.
bad.
That's not a
yes,
bad idea.
Wes.
That's a good idea.
That's actually not bad at all. I really do like that idea. Not bad. We'll Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. What? Are they doing business together? I like the Elon thing, but who pairs with Elon? Oh, I know. Sam Altman.
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman and Elon Musk. But like, how do you even dress like those guys, though? You know, you just gotta
You just gotta come up and be Elon and try to jump above everything. And
like a short crop top there, so your stomach's showing on the stage. No, I mean, I think Altman dresses a lot in sweaters.
I don't know if you've seen that. He's a suit guy, I think. No. Wow, Bitcoin's tanking.
I've seen him in sweaters all the time, so I don't know.
Okay.
Guys, I'm still holding on to RANI here. Look, it doesn't feel like this one's going to go. It's still holding 3. I don't know how I feel about this one, though. Go ahead, Joey.
Let me rock and roll a little bit here, guys, as Bitcoin is starting to come back in. This was an accidental ad, but we just continuously hold it. Enter the short, bang, add to the short, piece them out, piece them out, piece them out. Accidental ad, doesn't phase us, piece them out, piece them out, piece them out. And then now we're sitting on a little bit left here, so not too bad of a session. Signals left, right, and center, or Katina Man can be Dan Aykroyd. All right, we'll figure something out. I think there's going to be a good opportunity. We can always ask ChatGPT as well too, because that's going to.
Joey, I checked in. BYND at day's high again, guys. 282, 283. Here we go. BYND is going to take out 100%. Keep your eye on that. We'll go to the desk.
We're selling.
Keep an eye here on WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery. We know earlier this one was moving after a report from CNBC suggesting that Netflix and Comcast were both considering making bids for Warner Brothers. Now, WBD announcing that it's raising the price of all of its HBO plans. So Warner Brothers already in the spotlight earlier today, now announcing price increases for all of its HBO subscriptions. And back to you.
BYND is taking out levels, 289 high, Joey options. Now we're up 94%. Let's just see if we can get to 3, guys. We only have 1 beak wetter left. 91s, 92s, 93s, Joey. We're going to take it out here. That's where it's going to end. BY frickin' ND, man. What a move for BYND today. Good look. Multi-day runner for Beyond Meat. Look, guys, I mean, just because Joey and, if you're a newer trader, of course, I want to say this. Just because Joey and I are looking at this over and over doesn't mean that this is a good investment. We are in this intraday. We are in, we're out. We're not holding BYND overnight. I don't personally believe in the company. I'm just gonna be as very straightforward as I can be. If you guys happen to like it, fantastic. I mean, I got nothing against you. It was added to the meme ETF, says Katina. I didn't even know there was a meme ETF, Katina, man. That's why it's spiking. It makes sense. So that's a good look there.
You know what's also a good look?
What's a good look,
IBIT. Let's see if we can catch this fill right here as we continue. Boom! Oh, Assassino, just a second too late. We would have caught it live. But there it is, guys. An additional move. Lower Bitcoin absolutely tanking off of that 64.75 level. Joseph Burst, you need something that will clearly show who you are. Dressing as like Batman and Robin as an example. That's a good idea.
I like the Elon and Trump thing because of what happened this year. I think that's great. It's super easy to to dress as President Trump. You just get yourself a mask or some hair and whatever, a suit, right? Elon, I think, is a little bit difficult. You can wear the hat because he's been wearing the hat a lot.
Or just wear
a black leather jacket.
No,
that's Jensen.
That's Jensen. Just wear a shirt that says Occupy Mars, and then you're.
That's another good one. That's a really good one. That's smart, actually. Yeah.
This is Occupy Mars.
I think that's actually pretty smart, Joey. Like, that very much signals Elon, right?
Listen, we're gonna have a problem here.
All right, what's going on, Joey?
You ready?
Let's go.
$4.99, Mopar for life. Flying in from LA. Make sure to buy the dustpan. I'll bring the broom. Thanks, guys.
Look, man, I think the Jays are a ridiculously deep team, but the Dodgers are a juggernaut, bro. They're just, I can't. Ohtani's their 4th pitcher, right? He's literally the third, the Katina man says. So,
I mean, hey, man.
I don't know what to think about this.
I'll tell you one thing.
Obviously I want the Jays.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you one thing. Sharif, I had a hockey season I'll never forget, and it's happened on multiple occasions.
Yes, sir.
So our team lost 3 games all year.
Okay.
3 games all year in a 35 game season.
Okay.
We go to the finals.
All right.
Your boy scores the first goal.
Okay.
We lose 3-1 to the second place team, right?
Okay.
So what I'm getting at here essentially is the best team doesn't always win.
No.
It's momentum. It's just multiple factors that come into play.
That's
and
fair.
in the finals, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Katina, man,
anything can happen.
You're taking the market short still? The Katina man's short the market right now. And he's printing. But Joey, it's a little bit different in baseball though, because it's a best of 7. So whereas, you know, like football, soccer, they're all one gamers. I'm assuming yours was one gamer as well.
It was a one gamer,
I don't know, Joe, man.
No. It was a best
of 3?
Yeah, best 3 out of 5. Yeah. We won game 1, lost game 2, lost game 3.
Lost game 3, so you lost a couple in a row.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. 2 New York cents. No, Ohtani doesn't even have a schedule to pitch. He just pitches when they need him, but not on the schedule. It's kind of crazy, like that guy, man. But let me tell you, man, what a guy.
But I'm just saying, like, obviously they can get swept. The Dodgers are an absolute dynasty.
They did to Milwaukee, bro.
Yeah, they're a dynasty.
All over Milwaukee.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure the last series that the Jays played Milwaukee, they got smoked.
Milwaukee?
Yeah.
I think we beat Milwaukee earlier in the year in interleague play. I'm pretty sure we did because they had one of the best records in the NL, right?
They did, yeah. But
we played the Dodgers regular season in interleague? Yeah, find out, Katina, man. Let me know if we actually how we did against them.
But I mean, anything can happen. Listen, do I think we get swept? No.
I don't think we get swept.
The momentum, one thing that I will note is that a team that just smokes another team for nothing, boom, blows them out of the water. I think that the team that goes game 7 is coming in at a higher velocity, so they're more, like they have more of the momentum rolling for them.
We lost 2 games. We play on their turf or ours, Katina, man? In LA, okay. So we took a game in LA, all right.
In LA.
Okay.
I mean, I think, again, I'm leaving it anything can happen, because that's literally, what if our boy, the LA boy, Ohtani gets hurt? What if somebody gets hurt? That's really important to the lineup.
Very, very possible.
And anything can happen.
And we could have Bo back.
I'm long Google.
So they're talking about having Bo at least on the bench to have a bat.
Yeah.
Because if he's not going to play in the outfield, he's got to be hitting,
Bo,
right?
like, I'm asking, do you put Bo in, considering the team's got this far?
That's a
do you
good
think
question.
that messes up the chemistry in the batting order?
I would like to see, what's that guy that they always give a 3-letter acronym to, Katina, man? I think he plays second? Yeah, Connor Falefa. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Will resume his
Yes, that's exactly. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping,
He's the best hitter in the league.
Yeah, he's
the best hitter
an amazing hitter.
Well, he had the most hits, no?
I don't know. I think he got injured a little bit late.
100%. Yeah, he was definitely up there.
Joey, yeah. I don't know,
I was looking at it last night. He definitely
LA.
had the most hits in the league.
I don't really like LA, to be quite honest with you.
I like that because they're blue. You don't like the blue?
No, not really. I don't like Los Angeles as a city. I like Southern California.
Okay, no, he was okay. So batting average, Bo was second at 311. Judge was first. Hits, Bo was second at 181, and whoever Witt was
okay.
was
so that's
first.
a huge piece that we're missing there. That's insane. All right, so hopefully Bo's back and he does well. But he's been taking batting practice for a couple of weeks now, right? Katina may confirm. He already said he's playing, so we're good to go there. Hopefully. Trump said the meeting with China may not happen. Reason for the tank. Thank you, In Charts. I think In Charts we trade, something like that. Thank you for that. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of posturing, guys, as the APEC summit, leads up and, the 2 leaders get ready to meet, obviously. And we've been seeing more of this posturing happen more and more. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's I think the date is the 28th to the 31st, if I'm not mistaken. That's the APEC summit. Jensen's going to be there. A lot of different business leaders are going to be there. It's not just a political powwow. So we'll have to see exactly what happens there, Katina, man. Adam James, let's go Dodgers. Woke versus whatever, bro.
It's true, man.
What are you even talking
but
about?
Adam, though, the thing is, though, listen, I know where you reside. When you're still going for all these American teams, come on, man. What kind of BS is that? Show some patriotism.
The pickle Jim is like, Blue Jays are getting smoked. All right, bro.
The chances are they probably are going to get smoked. But, hey, we're in the World Series. Your team probably isn't, so... Hey.
Shout out to Chart Hustle. LA, best city in the world. Thank you for your comment. What else we got over here? Bo Bichette is still a Blue Jay. Wow, great player. Yeah, to New York City. He's just injured, right? right now, brother. He will not be a Blue Jay next year. I'm hearing as well that Gosman could be off too, Katina, man, as he may be, or it's Bieber. He's they're talking about he might get like 14 million. What's the option to 7 million or something like that? It's his own option. He's going to decline it, Katina, man says. Yeah, that's what I was reading that yesterday. So we may be without him as well. So we'll see. All right, 106, Joey. I'm still in a couple of positions, but I think they're okay. I'm looking at Clover. I'm looking at Rainey. Rainey, if it loses the level, I'm out. I'm holding for a move back above. I don't think I'm going to get it on Rainey, quite frankly, because it's a series of lower highs. This is the one right here. We'll see what we get. I stop out below 292. Simple as that. That's a local area low right here. Okay. But let's get the news started over here. Go ahead,
Want to pull up the news here? I'll just touch on this.
Go ahead.
So what we got going on, guys, we're just piecing it out there on IBIT short. That one worked really nice. There is some indecision prints. You can see the buying pressure really start to kick in on today's session. So keep an eye out for that. But other than that, guys, boom, take the short at the break of that support level. Same thing again, stair step down, consolidation, momentum and volume really starts to kick in. We add to that short. Accidental add doesn't phase us, and we're still rocking and rolling. We got about not even 10% left right now, just a little bit more than, or actually maybe a little bit more than 10%. But other than that, all three shorts on IBIT today, profitable. I did catch a dip buy on Google, and we took a loss, but that would turn us negative, but only our only negative name on the day there, Sharif.
All right, Randy's actually making a move here, so we just wet the beak. Let's see if this one goes. It's holding 3. It's just, I'm looking for the curl. It's going to have to get above, I want to say, mid to low teens for that curl to manifest. We'll see. It's still zigging and zagging. No continuation, though. All right, let's start with the news. Apple hits a record high yesterday on an iPhone sales surge, so let's talk about it. There's new data coming out from Counterpoint Research, which is showing that iPhone 17 sales are up about 14% year over year versus the 16 series in the US and China during the first 10 days of launch. It's a very specific data point, so I just wanted to mention that. And let's say the base model iPhone 17, which is, according to some YouTube reviewers, Marquez Brownlee specifically, it's the best deal that Apple's put out in many years. Apparently, that base model is driving the surge thanks to better chips, higher base storage, upgraded selfie cameras, same price as last year's model. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Loop Capital upgrading Apple from a hold to buy. There was another upgrade today. We know that Tim Cook recently visited China, meeting officials and employees while attending an iPhone Air launch, which sold out within minutes, as per South China Morning Post. So good look there, obviously, as that replaces the iPhone Air is what I'm talking about. The base model Plus. So you remember there was a 16 Plus version, which was the same specs as the 16, just a bigger screen like the Pro Max. They've dropped that model in favor of the Air, and it looks like it's paying dividends here, Joey. So Apple up 0.5%, making another all-time high today. It looks like, with the overall market, though, selling off a little bit. What's your look on Apple?
I think Apple's going to be just fine, Sharif. We talked about this for quite some time. It was only a matter of time until this name eventually broke out. Again, we were all worried about them with their CapEx and not really investing into the AI and having all this massive data center, GPU, and all this and all that you see all these other hyperscalers starting to put their money towards. Without all of that, Sharif, Apple still had the ability to put in a new all-time high this week, and I think it's going to continue to climb. If those iPhone sales come in at a beat, watch out. You're going to probably see 300 next to this name.
All right, Adair, did we get this wrong because we were fixated on AI?
I mean, I still think Apple arguably should be having AI, of course, but their main product here is the iPhone, right? That's what they're known for. That's when they really started to hit their stride. They usurped BlackBerry, so it makes sense that if there were a product and the success of said product to push them to new all-time highs, especially with talks of and hopes of a super cycle, I think it makes sense it's the iPhone. I think it's a good look. And yeah, I mean, we have more positive analyst comments coming after the rally today, right? Of course, yesterday, in addition to that data from Counterpoint Research, we also had Evercore ISI giving this one the nod, tactical outperform, and then we also had Loop Capital with the upgrade. But then this morning, we actually get even more positive analyst notes. Wells Fargo raising their price target to 290. Goldman Sachs saying that they see Apple beating Q4 2025 earnings, which is Apple's next earnings report. They're a quarter ahead of the market. The point is here, I think Apple poised nicely. Let's see what they do with that earnings report, though.
In Africa, A new generation of leaders is rising. The woman boss empowers them. We provide the training and mentorship women and girls need to start businesses, create change, and build a sustainable future. We've already impacted over 10,000 lives. Your contribution creates the next opportunity. So scan that QR code now and empower the next woman leader today. All right, let's go on to the next topic over here. GM, look, this is a good look today for GM, man. You know, I was talking to my old man the other day, and we were just shooting the breeze about, you know, legacy autos and, you know, some of the plight that they've been suffering. And I was telling him, I think GM is the best position out of the big three, Stellantis, Ford, and GM. The price action on the chart supports that, and I think the sales also support that. So let's talk about this. EPS came in at 280, destroying the 231 expected by the street. Revenue as well, $3 billion plus, higher $48.6 billion. Just a little bit shy of that, beating the 45.25 expected by the street. Revenue, for whatever reason, was down 1% year over year, but that shows resilience despite the pricing headwinds and the soft EV sales we'll get to in a second, which still is a problem for them. They also raised their full year 2025 guidance. They're guiding now EBIT to be but $12 to $13 billion. The previous guide was 10 to 12.5. EPS, they're guiding now for full year 9.75 to 10.5. The previous guide was 8.25 to 10. You guys get it. They raised basically everything here. Let's talk about the tariffs, because this was a major headwind for Mary Barra and company in the last report, and that one sent it down aggressively. They've since changed that number. They lowered their expected tariff impact to $3.5 to $4.5 billion, down from the 4 to 5 that they were guiding last time. And in addition to guiding lower, they're planning to offset 35% of that $3.5 to $4.5 billion. So you do your calculations there. That's what the net hit is going to be. Mary Barra, CEO, also thanked President Trump for his recent tariff adjustments. Specifically, she's talking about the U.S.-made trucks. U.S.-made vehicles helping, of course, the North American margins. But let's talk about the tough part here, Joey, which is EV sales. None of the legacy auto are really having all that much success with EVs, and GM reported $1.6 billion in special charges, really tied to its EV pullback, cutting net income by over half to $1.3 billion. So it gives you an idea how profitable they would be without the EV division. That's down 57% year over year. Net margins as well, Joey, fell to 2.7%. Why be even in business if you're making 2.7% on a product? And it wasn't even that good last year. It was 6.3% last year. Anyway, won't harp on that anymore. CFO Paul Jacobson said only 40% of EVs are currently profitable on a contribution margin basis, delaying the break-even timelines, Joey.
Yeah.
Let's stop for a second and just point out very clearly that the new administration doesn't have that same EV mandate push as the previous administration does. So my question to you is, do they still go gung-ho in EVs, or do they kind of put the brakes on and do what we've seen other legacy automakers do, focus on hybrids?
I think hybrids would be the answer for that one. Why? Because I think the EV tax credit was really huge, right, Sharif? As that came into a close, we've seen the boost in Tesla sales as well, too. I think that it contributed a lot. But yeah, I think that's definitely the shift. They're going to go into the hybrid system for sure, without any questioning that. That tax credit is huge, because why would people say, hey, I don't really love these EVs, but hey, I'll buy one because of the tax credit? That is no longer there anymore.
I forgot to mention that. Well said.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, no, you mentioned that.
I didn't mention the tax credit. No, you're absolutely right.
Okay, so I thought you did. But anyways, in all seriousness, it's its best day since 2020. That's some good stuff.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, 15%. So 5 years, best day since 2020. And if they strike a tariff deal with South Korea, that can also help increase margins as well, because they won't be as heavily impacted by the tariff. So I think that's still looming. That's going to be really important. But again, let's not beat around the bush, and as you like to say, let's cut the crap. It's tough space to be.
It is, man. It is. Even like the OG really Tesla's got like 15-14% gross margin. So let's not expect too much. You know what I mean?
Like again, I don't know if they increased their divvy, but they still pay a little bit of a dividend, around 15 cents a share or something along those lines, which isn't substantial. But yeah, I think there's better investments, unless you're one of the dividend aristocrats, as I would like to say. And I don't think, I don't think that GM is going to be one of those names that you pick.
All right, Adara, by all accounts, this is a really good report. What's your take?
I think it's a great report. Yeah, honestly, I think I'll emphasize that. I also want to let you guys know Trump has stepped off the podium. The Rose Garden luncheon is, I'm guessing, still happening, but no longer on camera. The speeches are done. I just want to mention that. It's a solid report. It's honestly a much better report than I was expecting, and I guess the street was expecting too, because we reacted really positively. As Joe mentioned, massive rally here. Significant. So, yeah, I mean, I think not too much bad to say here about this report. Let's see if General Motors can keep motoring to the upside. And I also think, too, with Ford reporting later this week, I believe Thursday after the bell, let's see how they fare. Because I think if we get another strong report here from, legacy EV, or not legacy EV, legacy automaker with Ford, I suspect, A, that helps GM stock, and I think, B, it helps the outlook of the sector considerably.
Thank you for that. Let's go on to the next topic. AWS outage disrupts major websites and highlights the cloud dependence on, yes, AWS. So the irony is not lost on me here. I mean, we have a bad day yesterday for our, a bad headline day, not price action day for Amazon. Doesn't really sell off. It ends up green on the day, and today it is the strongest performing Mag 7 name, up 2 1/3%. So irony 101. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. So the issue originated in the U.S. East 1, specifically in the North Virginia region, starting around 3:11 a.m., causing errors in this DynamoDB, which is a key database for the company and underpins numerous web apps. AWS said the disruption stemmed from what they're calling an operational issue involving DNS, which is domain name systems, and the resolution errors associated with that, which stops systems from finding the right IP address. A lot of technical stuff there. The recovery, let's talk about that. They reported early signs of recovery around 1:30 p.m. yesterday, applying regional fixes, and we were hearing from you guys ad nauseum in the chat about, Robinhood being down, as well as other platforms as well that you couldn't trade on. And so it looks like, you guys were absolutely right about that, because it was an incremental restoration. Full restoration happened by about 6 p.m., and then everything was back online about 6:53. They said everything had returned to normal about that around that time. The company emphasized that the data remains safe the entire time, as the issue was not within the DynamoDB itself, but rather the routing records that locate the stored data. Just to give you an idea, Joey, of how much market share they control and how reliant really the world is on AWS, they control 33% of the global cloud infrastructure market, ahead of Azure, ahead of Google Cloud, per Synergy Research. So we know that that includes websites, apps, many different things that all live online.
The brokerages, everything along those lines. We know that people were struggling with their Webull and everything along those lines. Katina, man, you're short Tesla?
I just reloaded QQQ. Come to my chart.
Go to his chart.
Oh, short there. He reloaded there at, what was that, 108, Katina, man? Good. Excellent trade there, Katina, man. He's looking, look at that same area, though, Katina, man, that 107.25. There seems to be some support in and around that area. The bottom beat quitters there. Shout out to the Katina, man.
Great trade, brother. Hit the reload button, brother. You're looking for it there.
Oh no!
I reloaded.
He's shooting up a storm.
Oh, shooting up a storm.
All right, Joey, AWS, what's your take?
AWS, listen, again, an outage we've seen, it's funny to see it climb all the way, Amazon that is, all the way just a little bit south of 225, 224, I think we hit on the intraday session, when we've seen the polar opposite happen in CrowdStrike. But at the end of the day, I think everything is fine. We got Gore printing up a storm on today's session, so Webull and Robinhood seem to be back up and running, but at the end of the day, I think it comes to what is this going to cost them, because they're going to get sued.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see, though. I mean, let's see, Joe. But yeah, good point there. All right, Adair, completely different than CrowdStrike.
Yeah, and I think, too, as I mentioned yesterday, the biggest difference here seems to be that the CrowdStrike outage, while certainly, it was pretty massive, especially with the extent to how it was impacting certain companies, right? So we had Delta specifically facing tons of flight outages. Also, as I mentioned yesterday, CrowdStrike handled the incident incredibly poorly with their $10 Uber Eats coupons for some of their clients, like bizarre response. Whereas I think Amazon, they might have been a little bit slow or late to respond verbally, but I think even though the issue certainly seems to have impacted a lot more different types of companies, like we had, Robinhood, Roblox, et cetera, all impacted, I guess the scope was larger, but the extent to which the companies were impacted impacted story. It seems a little bit smaller than what we saw with CrowdStrike. So maybe that's the reason here. Regardless of the reason, Amazon did not care yesterday. It does not care today. At least from the market's perspective, this seems to be a nothing burger, other than the fact that it's a bit of a wake-up call to how large Amazon's scope is when it comes to cloud.
Thank you for that. Ivan, Walter, yeah, I like BYND right here, man. I'm just not going to get into it myself because I'm trying to do the news and I'm really managing trades. But yes, it is at the 10 EMA and generally holding up, even though we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pullback, 5 candle pullback on the 5. There seems to be buying in and around 2 mid-60s. I don't know how this sets up, brother. I would be definitely a lot more interested in picking it up at around 2.5. Because, well, it's the $0.5 psychological support, and we have price action resistance at that 2.5. Let me know how it goes. I'd be looking at the 20 as well in case of a deeper retracement. BYND off the highs, 293, coming back down into the low 70s right now. Let's talk about crypto.
Sorry,
go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, let's cover one thing here, Sharif. Speaking of crypto, we're going on in the crypto market. We're short Bitcoin, big time move in IBIT earlier in the day, and then we just had that volume print come right into our lap. Essentially, did we take it on the size that we should have? No, we got to take that signal more aggressively, but at the end of the day, we're in it. Again, so bang, we hop in, add to that position, boom, 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 boom. Accident reload right there. We still hold it, and it's boom, 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 all the way to the downside. And then you like that one there. Boom, on the reload. We're just
we need a boom, 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 boom animation, my boy.
Right there.
He doesn't ask for much.
I don't ask for much, man. Whoa, who hit that there?
He asked for a lock at the end, but that's the irony of the whole thing. Yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't mind that.
But yeah, we're continuing to take it down, guys. Some fantastic stuff. One more thing, Sharif, before we hop back in. You know what I got to do here.
What do you got to do, Joe? No, he's still playing with the algo. This guy,
brother,
bro, I love it.
You don't understand. When I obsess about something, it's just like, I just want to rock and roll. So this will trigger at a 1.9. So I think the stop loss is right around here. This will trigger at a 1.9 to 1. So that'll put us roughly around this neck of the woods. But it picked up 2 absolute beautiful signals on today's session. So we got to climb back to the this point right here. On the pace that we're currently trading at, I think we're going to have a really good opportunity to do so as we're starting to approach it right now. And then here's the NVDA signal that it picked up earlier in the day. Bang. Takes that out, and then sure enough, it climbs a little bit higher, but you're still catching the meat of the move. And that's what gets me so amped about it.
Get it, Joe.
All right,
let's talk about, you're all perfect, because you were talking about crypto. Crypto market on edge as Bitcoin faces ETF flows. So let's talk about the ETF flows, and we'll get to the Elon SpaceX thing. Bless you, Ram. So spot Bitcoin ETF saw about $40.5 million in outflows yesterday, pushing total assets down to a little bit less than 150 billion. That's their lowest levels in over a month. Institutional sentiment, according to this article, remains fragile as steady redemptions indicate profit-taking and waning risk appetite. We'll see if that's accurate or not. The derivatives market also apparently is worsening the sell pressure with about $89 million in BTC longs liquidated out of 321.3 total market liquidations just in a 24-hour period. However, the momentum remains bearish unless BTC can break and hold above 115,400, which is the immediate support site that sits kind of between 107 and 104. Now, let's talk about this SpaceX transferring about $268 million in Bitcoin yesterday because it had a whole bunch of people online spooked and chatting about this. That's how I found out about it. So Elon Musk's SpaceX moved about a little bit less than 2,495 BTC, worth about $268 million, between 2 dormant wallets, the company's first major Bitcoin transaction in about 3 months. Analysts say this mirrors July's Coinbase Prime transfers, which is likely part of an internal treasury reallocation rather than a market sale. Despite this, the timing amid the ETF outflows that we just spoke about, and the high leverage liquidations. Another thing we've been speaking about with people taking 20 and from what I'm hearing from you guys in the chat, 100 times leverage products on BTC, which is insane. All that culminated and stirred the speculation about Musk's crypto exposure and the potential balance sheet reshuffling. On-chain observers, Joey said, no coins have yet hit the exchanges from those 2,500 coins, suggesting that it was more of a bookkeeping issue, not a selling event. So how do you see BTC? You've been basically in it all day.
Yeah, I've been trading this, man, and I talked about it for some time, Sharif. I think this might be the move that we go to those all-time highs. Again, we're selling aggressively right now, but come the post-market, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just bought up. I think that's just the nature of the beast. We've already, Sharif brought to us on multiple occasions, and what I do know is that there has been mass liquidations on both ends, especially to the long side as people are extremely over-leveraged. So they're all phased out now. Those over-leveraged hands are gone. The liquidity is absorbed. So I think it's just a game of waiting and being patient to see if, hey, is this going to be the move? And if I'm a betting man, which I would like to classify myself as one of them, that this might be the move. Am I going to go all in? No, I think I'm going to give it probably a C plus. I'll give it a C plus to a B minus maybe on our chances of getting into those specific levels. If we do break 126, I think 135 is going to be that next target. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see 150 by the end of the year. That 200 price target is extremely optimistic, so shout out to Tom Lee. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, but anything can happen, and I'm always going to leave it at that. Anything can happen.
You see this? Isn't this great? Kendrick versus Drake again. Yeah. Because of the LA, Toronto World Series. So it's like, and the caption reads, "I've seen this before." All right, so we'll have to wait and see which one actually wins. I don't know.
It's going to be huge, man.
I don't know, Joey. Drake was posting on his Instagram yesterday. It looks like he was watching the game. So
yeah. Well, I bet you he put some cash on that. $1 million.
Absolutely.
It's $1 million a bet.
All right, Adara, Bitcoin, Zig and Zet. Oh, she's not here. Thank you for that. All right. Sorry, Assassino. Let's go on to the next topic. Share 82 beat the 78, 82 pennies beat the 78 expected by the street on revenue of 12.41 billion, again beating the 12.39 expected. Net revenue also increased. $3.7 billion was their take-home money, which is up from the 2.85 they took home last year on the quarter. So beat on the top and bottom line. Net income grew. Organic revenue as well, up 6%. If they strip out beat were offset, though, by cautious commentary on consumer demand. So let's talk about that. Their North American and Latin American volumes are apparently flat, reflecting a weaker purchasing among the lower income consumers. That's the bad news. What's the good news there? Well, they had good segments that they grew. Water and sports drinks up 3%, coffee and tea up 2%. Sparkling soft drinks were flat, juice, dairy, and plant-based down 3%. They also said they're introducing more affordable options to target price-sensitive U.S. consumers. We've been seeing a lot of this. A lot of consumers are switching from brand names to in-house brands. Coke, obviously, that hurts Coke, so they're trying to capitalize on it somehow. Or offset it, excuse me, somehow. The full year 2025 outlook as well was reaffirmed, with comparable EPS growth coming in at about 3%. Organic revenue, Joey, 5 to 6%. And they're looking into 2026, saying management expects a slight FX tailwind for both earnings and sales now that the U.S. dollar has lost a bit of its strength. A clearly very stated goal of President Trump's, that he wants a weaker dollar so that he can increase exports and make his products more attractive for foreign consumers.
For foreign consumers. Yeah, I mean, as for Coca-Cola, again, you're going to get into this for the dividend play, in my opinion. Let's pull up the chart on this name and see what we got going on. Do, bang, bang, bang. Also, there it is, another out on IBIT off of those lows. But at Coca-Cola, we don't talk about this from an intraday perspective too often, Sharif. Again, I don't think it is that intraday trader, but again, if you're getting involved with the dividend aspect of things, I think this isn't too bad of a play. We know Mr. Buffett himself owned this for how long? Did he sell? No, he sold some, I'm pretty sure.
I can find out. You want me to check?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he sold some of it.
I'll check.
Anyways, but this guy's been raking in cash. I remember they did a comparison of the salary of the CEO of Coca-Cola and compared it to what Warren Buffett was bringing in from a dividend aspect. aspect, and it just blew it out of the water. Absolutely. I mean, salaries are usually relatively cheap, but what he was getting in return of stock options, etc., he just blew it out of the water by just owning the stock and collecting the dividend on Coca-Cola. But 65.85 all the way up to 71, not too bad. That breakout here at $68 all the way up to 71 bucks.
Cowboy cheeseburger, what's happening in the chat?
Cowboy cheeseburger.
No, Berkshire Hathaway has not sold any of its Coca-Cola shares recently as of its most recent 13F filing. This is Q2 2025, Joey. Okay. They own about 400 million Coca-Cola shares, about 9.3% of the company, a stake that it's held, since the late 80s, dude. So that's probably, they're probably raking in the ROI on that, right?
Dude, I'm pretty sure he, I forget who was telling me that he bought some options in some names like 20 years ago, and they're starting to,
no way. There's that long dated options?
Yeah, I don't know, apparently. He obviously has some rights. He's probably rolling them over or something along those lines. I forget he was telling me the story, right? I forget he was telling me the story. And anyways, he had to start exercising them, and they're at like such ridiculous prices.
I can only imagine, so man, if he's holding them for that long.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane.
All right, Adara, Coke. Interesting report. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting, too, is we know they've talked a lot late about trying to move into, I guess, these more healthy products. And we know that's kind of been a focus in general across these soft drink and, I guess, generally, quote-unquote, junk food brands because, of course, Ozempic usage is on the rise. But I do want to mention here, too, I find it pretty interesting, the breakdown of these growth segments, right? So sparkling soft drinks flat, so people aren't using less of them, but they're also not using more of them. So that's interesting with regards to, what we'll call Wegovy Gate. But water and sports drinks to the upside, that supports their thesis. Coffee and tea slightly to the upside. Good to see that's kind of negated there. But it's interesting, people are drinking less juice, dairy, and plant-based. Now, that is interesting, and I wonder specifically with plant-based, maybe if I was at Coca-Cola, I'd be like, hey, what are the margins on this? Is it worth doing? I don't know. I didn't even realize they really offered plant-based and dairy-type products there, and this would be my own ignorance, but interesting stuff here for KO. It seems like really a lot of the earnings reports we had today were pretty solid across the board. So, yeah, I mean, not much to say here other than nice that they have this growth this quarter, and they're also foreseeing growth for the fiscal year.
Thank you for that. But I like it, Darth Trader. It's a funny one, but it's not. Okay, first of all, we got to let you know that about 22% of you guys watching it right now are not subscribed.
Oh, wow.
And that really does hurt the channel because it skews the algorithm, guys. So if you could hit that subscribe button, we would be indebted for you for life. We're not going to say what we're going to give, but it would be great to help build the channel. So if you could hit that subscribe button,
hit the subscribe button.
Yep.
And because we never know, at the end of the day, you might get a version of my algo into...
Oh, no. All right, we're going to have to pause for a second. Joey, we've got to go back to Adara.
Maybe.
So, of course, we knew that Google dropped pretty aggressively earlier today, though it recovered really nicely after OpenAI was teasing out this new launch event where they were expected to launch a browser. Well, apparently they've now launched ChatGPT Atlas. This is a new web browser with ChatGPT built in with agent features. It's available free worldwide on macOS with Windows, iOS, with macOS, and then we're going to have Windows, iOS, and Android versions coming later. So it seems like the macOS is the first availability here for this new OpenAI browser. So just a little update there. Google not really reacting. It seems like we reacted much more on the initial reports. Back to you.
Darth Trader, you're killing it, bro. You're killing it. This is actually really smart. I think we're trying to keep it to the market. What's going on?
No, someone said that. Chase the packs.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joey. All right, guys, let's go talk about RTX, baby. RTX Corp. We know them obviously to be a military industrial complex company. Let's talk about how they did. EPS came in at $1.70, beat the $1.41. Revenue, a little bit less than $22.5 billion, easily beating the 21 1/3 and up 12% year over year. They also raised their full year sales guidance now between $86.5 to $87 billion. That's well up from the 84.75 to 85.5 they were talking about before. They also boosted their EPS guidance, $6.10 to $6.20 for the full year, up from $5.80 to $5.95. It's a beat on the top and bottom line. It's a beat for the actual quarter. It's a beat on the top and bottom line for the guide. Fantastic look there. Let's talk about how they did. They got a couple of divisions, commercial and aerospace division gains. The Collins Aerospace segment posted about $7 2/3 billion in revenue, up 8% year over year. Really driven here by what they're calling aftermarket services and retrofit demand as airlines fly older fleets. Pratt & Whitney, which builds the A320neo engines, also saw sales rise about 16% to $8.42 billion. And they continue to benefit, Joey, from the jet supply shortage as airlines delay new deliveries and turn to existing aircraft for maintenance, where they're making a lot of money. We're going to pause for a second.
All right, guys, new traders, Ozane, listen up, first month free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data. Global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description.
All right, let's go on to their defense strength. Of course, amid geopolitical tensions, the Raytheon Defense Division rose 10%, by far their best performing division, really led by something we've been talking a lot about, sadly, of course, their Patriot air defense system sales. They're important in the Middle East. They're important in Europe. And they're definitely important domestically, as apparently, from what I'm hearing, American supply running out, and they need to re-up that. They're in high demand across Europe and Ukraine. Not surprised about that. Global defense spending, of course, as we've been talking about, European countries specifically has accelerated as Europeans spend a lot more on defense amid geopolitical instability, kind of reinforcing their diversified revenue mix. And the company sees continued upside momentum, Joey, specifically from missile systems, radar contracts, and classified government programs. So we never really want to cheer belligerencies and the reemergence of global conflict, but this division or this sector of companies likely stands to benefit greatly.
Yeah, most definitely. Again, I don't know too much about the company, but what I do know, Sharif, is that this thing is looking like a Walmart chart right now.
Okay, say more. I mean, are you surprised by this, though?
No,
I mean, all we hear about is global conflict.
This is insane, right? Like, I mean, this is just steady to the top side. Again, what I was going to bring up about this is that there's so many good investments, not necessarily trading and swing trading and doing all that with the speculation. There's so many great companies that are great investments. And how do we determine that? Again, hindsight 2020, but if you just take a look at some of these technicals, if you want to own a name, you want the chart to look like this at the end of the day, regardless of what it is. And the same thing with the Walmarts and the JPM, a little more volatile at times. It's gone through the ringer here and there. But this, it's just straight up and to the right. This is what you want your money to look like and steadily appreciate over time. I think this looks absolutely phenomenal.
It does. It's really good. All right, Adara, Andrew, there's a lot of new companies coming into the private sector that could disrupt part of the business of RTX. But as we spoke about, they're really diversifying revenue here in more servicing aging aircraft.
Yeah, I think too with RTX, I was just looking at some of these other defense-related charts, and I think RTX, even with, unfortunately, as we mentioned, the belligerencies in the Middle East, there's really no defense name that's benefiting as much as RTX or as directly to the upside as RTX is. Like LMT, which also reported this morning, has been a little bit more shaky on the daily chart. Palantir even, of course, is one is up significantly this year. I'm not trying to discount that, but over the last couple of weeks, it's been really consolidated, admittedly near all-time highs, but still pretty consolidated, right? So I think RTX certainly stands out on, I guess, in that space, even with the overall strength in this sector. I think RTX certainly deserves attention if you just even look at the chart beyond this pretty solid earnings report here.
All right, let's go on to GE Aerospace, surging on strong Q3 beat and raising their 2025 outlook. Let's talk about it. EPS, $1.66, beat the $1.46, a 14% beat. Revenue, Joey, $11.31 billion. The street wanted 10.4. A 13% year-over-year increase. They've now beaten Wall Street estimates every quarter since spinning off from GE Vernova in early 24. It's a different ticker, obviously. Their full year EPS guidance was also raised from $6 to $6.20, up from the prior $5.60 to $5.80 that they guided. The new midpoint implies a Q4 EPS of about $1.30, which is roughly in line with what Wall Street expects. I think they're only up like 0.2% right now, but I think they were certainly higher in the pre-market. Yeah, they're about, I want to say, $12 off the high, maybe a bit more. Talk about their different segments. They have many different segments. Their commercial engine and service revenue up 27% year over year, now almost $9 billion in revenue, with new orders topping 10.3. So there's a backlog there, which, I mean, to me, that looks pretty good. Operating profit margins also rose 1.7% up to 27.4%. Defense sales climbed 26%, benefiting, of course, from steady U.S. contracts and global rearmament demand. Management highlighted sustained momentum in both the aftermarket and new jet engine programs, despite the tight aircraft supply. They're trading around 44 times, Joey, which could be a bit rich, especially when you look at RTX, who's trading at 24 times. Analysts call this valuation conundrum with strong growth, but very high multiples. What do you make of this whole thing here, Joe? It's up 80%, by the way, in 2025.
GE, right? That's
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay, I had the right one up. Same thing, right? Again, we just get into some of these technicals. This is what your investment money you want your investment money to look like. Is it easy picking these names considering they've been on these monstrous runs? Absolutely not. Bro. But the fundamentals speak for themselves at some point. And sure enough, the technicals are doing the exact same thing. I'm going to try to go to a weekly here. It should be substantially easy, Sharif. Why? Because as of October 2022, you're up 642%. Straight to the top side. Look at this weekly chart. You go, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at, start from it. 1, 2, 3, 4,
start
5,
from the,
6,
Joey,
7, 8, 9, 10,
go to the
11,
war.
12.
Go to the start of the Ukraine war.
14 weeks straight to the top side.
Go to the start of Ukraine war.
That's 21.
That's April 22. Sorry, March or February 22.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah, it's
wow.
sad, yeah.
Would you say, Adair? What is it?
Yeah,
February
so exactly
of 22.
What I said. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So November, January, February, right here, February of 22.
Okay.
You sell off a little bit. They're just absorbing right here. $37 to where we're currently trading at.
Yeah, just do the percentage increase.
Yeah. Oh, we're here.
Yeah, that's what I want to have an idea.
Yeah, we're gonna get right there. I lost it now here.
It's okay. February 2020.
Bang. I can't even get all the way up there.
You got to zoom out a little bit, man. Nah, there you go.
No, we'll do it again.
Embarrassing.
This is really, it's not going as planned, is it, brother?
Where are we at,
in all seriousness, 746%
Ridiculous.
roughly.
Ridiculous, yeah. Well, there it is.
I mean, going into earnings, but this name you want, me personally, it's a great company. Grab a little bit. Don't go all in at once. Buy some off the lows. It sells a little bit, sell some more. It sells a little bit, buy some more. And then guess what? Sure enough, you're going to have an amazing price because what it's done in its history, I don't know, people say history doesn't repeat itself, but I like our chances here in GEV.
All right, Adair, tell us what your take is on this report. Analysts are complaining this company is too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say on this. I think this space certainly has, as you can see from all the earnings reports today, it's done pretty well. I think the 27% increase here in commercial engine and services revenue is good. And like they had strong growth in both of their sectors, right? Or their main segments here, the commercial engine and services and defense. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a good look. There's not too much, I think, to be concerned with here, and especially with the revenue and adjusted EPS beats as well, because some of these more stalwart names aren't necessarily going to have that massive year-over-year growth. In fact, some of them will still beat estimates, but they'll actually have year-over-year decline. So I think the fact, as simple as it sounds, the fact that they had such a significant beat and these year-over-year increases here for revenue and EPS, I think that does say something.
Let's talk about 3M, beating the Q3 estimates and raising their outlook despite the legal drag. What are they talking about? We'll talk about it. EPS 219 beating the 207 and up 10% year over year. Really, it came down to improved cost control and operational efficiency, according to the call, with their sales coming in at 6.3 billion, just ahead of the 6.25 expected by the street, but it was a 4.1% year over year increase on the quarter nonetheless. Operating margins expanded nicely here from a little shy of 21% last year, now up to 22.2%. Again, likely as a result of the improved cost control and operational efficiency. Total sales, their GAAP sales, up 3.5% to 6.5 billion. Really looking here at steady industrial and consumer demand, says the management. Now, with respect to their guide, they lifted 2025 adjusted EPS forecast from 775 to 8, now up to a very nice 795 to 805. Not a big move there. Management cited stronger organic growth and expanding margins as key drivers. The CEO, William Brown, said the company remains on track to meet long-term financial goals, emphasizing a renewed focus, of course, on that top-line growth and operational margins. GAAP earnings, cash flow, shareholder returns, yes. So they are going to buy back about $900 million of shares, or they're going to return, $900 million back to shareholders via dividends as well as a share buyback program. And the management reiterated their commitment, of course, Joey, to balance sheet discipline and capital returns, even though the legal cost or the legal issues do persist.
Yeah, so what I'm reading up here, what I do know is that the margins are slightly increasing. That's positive as well, too. Share buyback market typically likes that. But 3M, look at this consolidation. And then now you're starting to break out. That volume's starting to pick up a little bit as well, too. Considering the length of this here, maybe this move will be sustained. I mean, it's not quite the other charts that we were comparing to, but hey, you can't really complain about this steady up and to the right, lots of whipsaw moves. I mean, this is the April lows where a lot of the market got smoked, and it's currently underpaced. It's underperforming what the market is doing, but with this consolidation and with this breakout earnings, margins starting to slightly expand, I think that's positive. Watch out for the continuation on 3M, and that breakout might be sustainable.
All right, Adara, what do you make of 3M beating on the top and bottom line?
Yeah, very little to add. I think it was a good report. I think the operating margin expansion is also something to maybe be aware of here in a positive way. But yeah, I mean, if you compare this to the other names that we mentioned, all of which really beat earnings, maybe with the exception of GM, MMM looks the strongest here. It's still near day's highs. Even RTX with that really solid report has pulled back a little bit from day's high. So yeah, I mean, I think the market anyway seems to really enjoy this MMM report, and we understand why, because it's pretty solid.
All right, guys, I'm not going to go do these JP Morgan downgrades Goldman. I always find that a little funny. I know that they got to cover them. I get it. Yeah. But it's just like me saying, don't listen to Joey. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I don't know if it's like...
It's not. Yeah, of course, it's a competitor. You're downgrading a competitor. So
I'd be like someone else be like, yeah.
Philip Morris also beat on earnings, Joey, fueled by smoke-free growth. You know a lot about that, my man. Yeah. I played. No, but they pay a sick divvy. So let's cut the crap.
Yeah.
They pay a sick divvy, don't they?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised. What's the ticker on these bad boys, man?
PM,
let's see what the...
We'll find out right now. Let's look.
See what the chart's looking like.
Dividends is. Where is revenue?
How much...
Where do I see it, Joey?
These nicotine patches have taken, I think, the youth by absolute storm.
Divvies.
Out here. So I'm curious to see how that's affecting.
$1.47 a share.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm curious to how much Zin and whatever IQS is now is actually impacting the earnings report.
Look right there, Joey. The smoke-free segment, Zins, and I don't know what this IQOS. Now, 41% of total revenue. It was big last year, but it's bigger this year. It was up 38.1%. It's up 38.1% year over year.
Brother, listen, I have friends who don't breathe without a Zin in there. Like, it's that bad. Yeah. So they're probably even more addictive than smoking. A couple of my hockey boys, same thing. Like double patching.
Love it, eh?
Double patching.
That's what I heard. No, but Cal Canis, on the All In podcast. So apparently he used it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, you can get a buzz off that, and I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm so.
You want to try?
No, I don't, bro. Look at this guy, devil, Satan over here, bro. Is there a Satan animation like with the gates of hell or something there, Katina man?
Listen,
your boy's trying to get me. Your boy's trying to get me on Zins.
Man, we drank the water. Manic,
Attaboy, Joey.
so Manic Bora and his lovely wife are always saying, hey, did you and Sharif drink enough water today? And I say, and so when he asked me to show him, I finished mine. We're empty on the water. So
I got one after a smash of water after the walk. Then we smash the coffee. Then we have to have an obligatory water right there.
I drank a shaker cup full of water this morning. Yeah, and then a couple
hydration.
jars
Shout out
as
to
well.
hydration.
Shout out to hydration.
All right, that concludes the news segment, guys. Thanks for sticking with us.
I know that's a genius
Go ahead, Joey.
idea. No, what Envingar said, or Vargar, wherever his name is. I don't know how to pronounce it, man. Whatever this guy's name is.
Oh, I need. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't. Do they make those?
No, but that's a genius idea.
Yeah, it is. I bet you there's probably a reason that they don't do it.
There has to be. Man,
they make every other type of THC product.
Right?
I've never seen a THC patch.
No.
I haven't personally. I don't know that they exist or they don't. I have no idea. I personally have never seen one.
I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure you can. Look, it's like SideQuest investor says he can't live without his Zyn. I've been trying to quit Zyn, so he goes from smoking to Zyn. And I mean, I think they're.
Isn't it better though? The Zyn.
I have no idea.
Like
well, God, you probably get a lot of. No, it's just a pouch.
No.
You just like literally sit it in your mouth, and then you just. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what do you want? What do you want? Lung cancer or mouth cancer?
Oh boy.
At the end of the day.
Oh boy.
So you know what I mean? So you gotta choose.
I have no idea, guys. But yeah, that's a new segment. All right, let's cover. I've got one trade on over here, and it's CLOV. We've been holding this basically since we started the show. Right around that 3 1/5. 3 1/5 breakout. We were holding for 3 1/2, but it doesn't look like it's coming in. It's been quite consolidative, I want to say, since 11:50, so just before 12. It really hasn't done much, if anything. So I think I'm going to end the trade over here on CLOV. Let's bring in, though, the chart on BYND. I don't know who it was in the chat who bought at 250, but bravo for you. Very clear area of support in the pre-market. Lo and behold, it acted as an area of resistance in the pre-market. Now acting in the afternoon here as an area of support. Talking about that 250 area. We are still, though, putting in lower highs generally. Like, I mean, even though we're bouncing off that 250, take a look at this prior area high at 1:30, excuse me. We got to get above 278. So I'm not saying, you know, BYND's best days are behind it, but just be on the lookout for lower highs and be on the lookout as well for a break of structure. Break of structure here is lower highs. So the second you see that change, that could be, you know, a bit of an alert that it may be time to get long. Ankit, Kapoor, $5. I got no animations. QQ. Do market maker see our stop orders? Yes, it's called level 3. Seen price goes to my stop order and then go right back up. Also, have you heard about the PDT rule going to 5K soon? Yes to both those. Absolutely. So I don't know exactly when the PDT rule is supposed to change, but I know that President Trump was looking at doing that. Let me find out for you. PDT rule change takes effect when? Let's see what Perplexity has to say. With respect to you're seeing your stops, just because they see your stop doesn't mean they're stop hunting you, right? Like, you have to be a big buyer or seller for them to target you, right? And just think about the other people who are trading with substantial size, other market makers, other institutions are all doing that as well. So a lot of people like to feel like the brokers stop hunting them. I don't know how much truth behind that is. Anyway, to answer your question, the rule change is expected to take effect in late 2025 or early 26, pending approval from the SEC. In September, the FINRA, the Board of Governors, formally approved the overhaul of the current PDT rule framework, eliminating the $25,000 minimum account equity requirement, as well as the 4 trades in 5 days designation. Once implemented, the rule will introduce risk-based real-time intraday margin model where traders' buying power depends on the actual risk of open positions rather than a fixed account minimum. Did you hear that?
No, finish that last part. I heard the rest. I just missed the last part.
So once implemented, the rule will introduce a risk-based real-time intraday margin model where a trader's buying power depends on the actual risk of the open position rather than a fixed account minimum. That should be interesting there. Again, so to answer your question, late this year, early next year, no specific date yet, Joe.
I think someone, so Obi brought us this, that the, I don't know who it is, if it's CME or somebody brought forth to the SEC that options now trading, proposing options trading from 7:30 in the morning,
a lot better,
to 9:25.
Interesting.
So you'll have at the morning imbalances at 9:25, a blank period of no trading options, and then the reopening. Right.
5 minutes.
So yeah, 5 minute grace period there. But also, I mean, from 7:30 to 9:30 or 9:25, I'll take that every single day of the week.
Oh, 100%. I'd like to know why there is no brokerage that's offering options. Is it a regulatory rule?
Yeah, it has to be.
It feels like a regulatory
rule.
rule.
Like with the exception.
Go, keep going.
With the exception, I think of, I don't know, of makers themselves. You have that cutoff limit, and you have to wait till 9:30. So a retail individual like me, we just have to sit there and wait. It's definitely a regulatory issue, I believe. We might eat those words quick, but I think that's going to be.
It's saying it doesn't trade before. You can't. Options trading does not occur before 9:30 because equity options derive their prices from the underlying stock, which itself is not actively traded on primary exchanges until the market officially opens at 9:30. Without live continuous stock price discovery, market makers cannot accurately quote or hedge options, making early trading impractical or risk prone.
I don't know how much I know. I don't know how I'm going to argue that much with Perplexity, but it says that it's saying that the underlyings aren't trading before the 9:30 open. But what if a name's putting in volume? What if an early morning's earnings report when the volume really starts to step in, or any form of high-level catalyst?
But what if it doesn't? Like, there would be situations where if the volume allows, you could trade, and if the volume doesn't allow, you can't.
Then you have a buck case spread. That's when you would fall into something like that, right? Like when you just have like a ridiculous spread. So it's like, okay, don't trade it. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point, man. I can't pretend to understand too much about options, so I'm not going to go down that.
I couldn't understand anything about the regulatory aspect, but I mean, hey.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, 3 minutes left on the show before we send you to the big boys. Guys, I'm still keeping an eye on BYND, and I also want to point out RANI. You know, I got out of it because it lost 3, and it lost 3 momentarily. Look how quick it got right back above 3. So it's still generally holding trend. You know, if you were looking at 290, and that was actually the level I was looking at. I hedged by going to 3, but I was actually looking at 290, and the reason was, we talked about this. At that 10:30 price spike, it looked like all the closing prints were rejecting 290. Lo and behold, it comes back, holds 290 like a glove, and here it is back into the 3 single digits, 306. 307. I think this one has potential breakout above 310, given that all these topping tail candles during the midday here from 1240 all the way to 130 were rejecting $3.10. So RANI, if it can break structure and get back above 310, that's money. And we could easily see a retesting of that 3 1/3, you know, by power hour, if not earlier. So that's one thing to look out. BYND is making a move back up again. It is breaking structure here. It's got that beautiful 250 hold, and here comes 280s. We've broken the lower high pattern by moving above this 330 candle, which did top out at 78. Let's close above 280, and this could be a nice move for BYND easily into 3. Joey, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about BYND tomorrow, and the price might be 3 and change.
What's going on with what's going on with our open door? But this is what I want to talk about.
Let's find out right now.
Go to the daily with open door, and let's just think about how. Can we go to the daily?
Yeah,
here?
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's go to the daily.
Yeah, it's not too bad, man. It is not.
It was
that
in play
bad.
for a couple of months.
This could be accumulation. It's not breaking trend.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Zoom in a little bit on there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like you're holding generally
What's
7.
the red there? The 50
That's
or
the 50 EMA. Yeah. That's always the 50 EMA. Yeah. You have decent price actions. I think the market's in a wait and see mode.
Oh, that downtrend's still fully intact there.
So the downward angle,
at the top there, yeah. The channel there, and then you also have a little bit of a flat bottom. It's looking
a little bit, in and around 7. So it's generally 7 that's getting defended, and that's kind of what I want to point out there. Generally, it does wick below, like it did on this day over here. So open's not too bad, man. I mean, I think Naz Kajatian or whatever his name is, I follow him on X, and he was posting basically that they were going going to report earnings pretty soon. I think it was like late October. When does Open report earnings? Let's find out.
Perplexing.
Yeah, well, I'll just use Perplexity because it's like financial bot. Did I say anything about Coke, bro? What's the matter with you? What's going on over here, man? This thing's high, Joey.
All right,
when,
let's ask our,
yeah, go ahead. I'm going to find out. When does Open Door report earnings? Let's find out. All right, Open Door. November 6, 2025, after the market close. Okay? The earnings call is going to be on this, the next day at 2 p.m., according to 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific.
Yours says the 6th?
Pardon me?
Yours says November 6th?
It says November 6th. What do you got?
I got November 5th.
Oh, boy.
Somebody's lying.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
We can check on one of the other websites, but if anybody really wants to find out.
So we got a lot of 6ths. Someone says the 9th. So whatever LLM you're using is really lying to you.
Neil says 5th. Neil's just, do you actually get that?
If that's your birthday.
That's not his birthday. That's, I think, when the Blue Jays won the World Series. Is that when we won the World Series? His birthday is like in December. It's right around Christmas.
Yeah, but it's not in 55 either.
Certainly not 55.
All
right, guys. It's been real. Hope you had a good time with Joey and I today on the Midday Show. But it is now to send you the big kahunas who are to our left or right now. Actually, my bad. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Trying to get to the chat.